Heyman here from Sutter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sutter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SutterHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Dana Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Dana Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Dana Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a slight chance of snow this morning. Otherwise, we'll see decreasing clouds throughout the day. The high near 16. Tonight, mainly clear and cold, below a 5 below. And tomorrow, a chance of snow late. Otherwise, partly sunny and breezy. The high near 20. I'm meteorologist Kyle looking for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln. This is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped and picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Hour one of Old School is sponsored by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School coming at you live, 1040 O Street. I would like to say that we're bringing the heat, but we're trying to dodge these flurries, man. I blew in here, man, and thought we were escaping from yesterday, but it's coming back, and it's probably going to be with us maybe for the next day or two, but hopefully everybody's warm and inside and being able to make some plans enjoying the weekend. We are Old School. We are brought to you by Graham Tire of Lincoln. Graham Tire is celebrating 75 years of serving the Midwest. They're more than just tires. They do all kinds of car and light truck repairs too. From brakes to oil changes, trust Graham Tire for service you can count on. Graham Tire, getting you to the places that matter the most. And so we appreciate their support. We always want to give them a shout out every hour and stuff. So had a good talk last 5 o'clock hour yesterday about the state of youth and high school sports. Got the hack tournament here in Lincoln. I think it's Heartland Athletic Conference Tournament. So we'll talk a little bit about that. So be aware, texters and listeners at 5 o'clock. We'll continue that conversation because I think it's a really good conversation when you're thinking about obviously every sport, football and basketball, but it's basketball season, but it happens in every sport, and schools have been doing it for a while. But also we want your thoughts and concerns moving forward. Obviously, we had some big transfer news coming into up to the Omaha area, but it's been not to burst anybody's bubble. When Bolicious Pelini was here, I think there was a guy, I think he had a French last name, his last name Leclerc or something like that. He magically moved into Southwest with the assumption that he was going to go to Nebraska, but he ended up going to LSU, I think, or something like that. So that was a big deal when he was living in Lincoln, and then decided to attend college somewhere else. So it has happened, but maybe not to this magnitude. Social media wasn't that big. Facebook was very new. I don't think Mark Zuckerberg has bought his $300 million yacht yet, but maybe he only had like a
$30 million
yacht. So he upgraded. So we helped to contribute to that. But before we got a special guest at 3:30, UNK head football coach Ryan Held, former Husker as a player. I played with him. Obviously, he's coached at several places. We're going to go over his career. Obviously, he was on Scott Frost's staff, and then he ended up obviously that didn't work out, and then he's the head football coach out there at UNK. So, he's building a program out there. I think it's good to have him on, one, to support him in the program because he's trying to support local athletes in Nebraska. He loves recruiting and coaching Nebraska players. He will continue to do that, how he's going to try to build the program and hopefully be an asset to not only Nebraska and other bigger universities throughout the United States. And he has no problem being in his lane. That's the great thing about it. That's what makes Ryan a good coach. I've tried to send several players out there. I'm going to continue to push my players out there because I'd like to think that Ryan knows what type of mentality they would have if I'm sending out there, because that's one of the biggest attributes that you need. So, but before we get to Ryan in about 20 minutes, 15, 20, whenever we go to break, maybe 17 or maybe 18 minutes, since we like the even numbers. Nebraska's transfer portal class, and this now with the signing, high school signing next Wednesday, right? Wednesday or Tuesday? Tuesday.
Could be. It's usually Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is, but
maybe
whatever.
it's Tuesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it is, right? We're not,
middle of next week.
Right. We're just probably holding everything out for one dude. The portal class is now for Nebraska somewhat officially set, right? There's a couple guys that have signed, and we've seen it, just other places. But they didn't have, according to the rankings, didn't have anybody in the top 100. So for our texters out there, is that concern you, or it doesn't really matter because once they get here, they're going to have probably a bigger and better opportunity to prove themselves? And so as long as Nebraska knows or feels comfortable, obviously they do, who they've recruited and signed, they'll make that ranking, be what it needs to be, and obviously better than where they're at.
Yeah, I think on its surface, it's a little concerning, a little weird. We know that when it comes to high school ranks, Nebraska football specifically, hasn't gotten a lot of those top 100 guys, and it's kind of a stretch and a fight to get into the top 300 in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
And so I think the same kind of conversation applies, where it doesn't really matter. No, not really. I mean, the difference between 1 and 100 is probably, a bigger difference than 100 to 300.
Right.
Especially with how many kids are in the transfer portal. So it's about fit. It's about, did you get what you needed?
Yeah, and the top 100 is hard because
you got to value positions in there a little bit.
Well, you got to think like, okay, if there's, just say the top 56 teams, that's literally two guys, less than two
Not
guys.
even.
Yeah,
right.
Per team.
Right.
If you just take the 100 and spread them out evenly. So, I mean.
Which doesn't happen.
Yeah. And a lot of those guys, I think, in my opinion, that are ranked up really high. Now, obviously, the known entities, right? And like you could throw Dylan in there, the Mensahs, and all these guys that, the Levitts and all that, right? So that's out of the top 100. You're thinking 40 of those guys have been really viable players,
right,
that are probably looking to upgrade their pro status, a coaching change, or they figure it's bigger money.
And
right?
at the top 100, how many are quarterbacks?
Yeah, quarterbacks,
15, maybe.
Yeah, and then there's not many linemen because they get swooped up pretty quick, and so now you're at
if
like
they enter at all,
right? So now you're at like 50. And so and then also I think a lot of the guys that are still at the bottom of that so-called top 100 are guys that, the ranking could be based on how much eligibility they have left, what they were previously ranked coming out of high school. Because you see some guys, I mean, look at Minchie, right? For Notre Dame. Now, obviously, we had him committed at first, and then he flipped to Kentucky. He didn't play. He's never played.
Nope.
I mean, I'd be willing to bet that Latif has played more meaningful snaps.
Actual
than him.
snaps.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's one of the top-rated quarterbacks in the portal. Right? So he would probably have been a top 100 portal guy,
right,
or is a top 100 portal guy. So it's all can be skewed because, if you haven't followed the Senior Bowl, there's a guy from John Carroll, a wide receiver, has been playing football for 2.5 years, actually, to be correct. And half a year was because COVID, and he was practicing in his backyard. So technically, for 2 years, he's down there at the Senior Bowl just putting in work on all these guys.
Come on.
And he went to the American Bowl, bet on himself. Sierra Wright did it at the East-West Shrine game. He just got a late invite down there. So for Husker fans, make sure you check him out when the Senior Bowl plays on Saturday. He's just made him some money just being there and then being able to get in front of more guys and impress them. And he's going to go out there and handle himself well. But so the rankings really don't mean much if it's not a known entity, because a lot of, I think it's more still projection, as is the top 300,
right?
Because a lot of guys are ranked with stars solely, especially linemen are. It's a measurable thing. Now, granted, they have to have some tape where they can kind of, obviously
show you move a little bit.
Yeah, move a little bit. But if Austin Orman, just say for instance, you're an offensive lineman, obviously you don't,
I was an offensive lineman. It's not an offensive lineman.
So you're an offensive lineman. and you're 6'7" in high school, 320,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't move. You never got on the basketball court, but you just kind of just get your hands on somebody, and you're in like Class C1, and you're just dump trucking everybody, but you're from Texas.
Right.
Here's Jay Foreman, and say I'm 6'4" and a half,
295,
280 or
whatever.
something. I wrestle, throw the shot, play a little basketball or whatever, and then I'll say play football.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm from Nebraska.
Right.
And I'm a 2-star, 3-star, you're 4 or 5. So that's how it can be skewed. I don't look like it's, I think right now, no matter who you get in the portal, we've seen it. That's great. That's a starting point. But you have to be, this is the most important thing. Whatever you're ranked at or whatever they viewed them at or saw them at whatever school, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to be better while you're here.
Yeah.
You have to everybody in this portal class has to play better. Even Black coming from Iowa State has the most starting experience, as much starting experience as Justin Evans and Pritchett, right? And obviously play with he's at a really good program. That's I'm not knocking the Big 12, but that's at Iowa State and that's in the Big 12. It is different.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll be able to adjust. It's no different than Rocco and stuff. You'll get into it. But he still has stuff to prove. He's probably the most
proven
safest.
Sure.
You sleep well at night. You've seen 3 years of tape, right? He's played for a heck of a coach. He's been in big games. He's played in a heck of a program. He's played with pro guys. He knows what it takes. He has leadership, so you kind of like, all right, this guy, we can plug and play. We feel good with him. Yeah. He still has adjustment period because he barely knows how to get up and down O Street. You know what I'm saying? So everybody else has to play, raise their level of play. And especially if you're getting compensated. And this also includes guys that have been re-signed. They re-signed you based on the work that you put in and also what you're going to put in. Like you don't get paid and then just chill.
Right.
That you get paid and then you level up.
It's both that, especially if you're coming to a place like Nebraska, you're getting the upgrade. You're moving up a spot in a lot of these cases because of what you did, but it also has to be because of what you've done.
Yeah.
Or what you're going to do.
What you're going to do.
Sorry. It's got to cut both ways. If you're only here at Nebraska to get paid based off your reputation, you're not going to help elevate the program. And I don't think Nebraska is in such a spot where all they can do is take flyers on guys for what they could be.
Yeah, you got to mix it up. I think you got to have that if they have a pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that might change year by year because you might have a really solid team coming back. You're like, all right, man, we can take a couple projects. You make it. If you don't, you got to you handle the structure. You get your off the field stuff handled. Then it'll probably work. But if you don't, then see you.
When I look at this Nebraska portal class too, Jay, specifically outside of quarterback, right? Because we know that the scheme's always going to be tailored to the quarterback unless you're a former college football national champion playing for the Cleveland Browns. That's kind of a one-off in a different league, but the scheme's always going to be tailored to you there. When I think about the top tier of guys that enter the transfer portal, it seems like they're probably more quote unquote scheme proof where you just know they're going to produce whatever they're asked to do, whether it's as an off-ball rusher, whether it's, plugging a gap in the middle, whether it's being a ball hawking safety, whether it's, as a deep threat or an intermediate threat at the wide receiver position, or, pick them up, put them down at running back, whatever it is. I think probably the top 50, maybe, guys outside of quarterback, again, are probably the ones that you would look at as, any team in the country, no matter what you do, would be happy to have him. This guy can fit anywhere because of where he's been, because of what he's done. You see enough traits that no matter what a coaching staff asks him to do, seems like he's going to be successful. And then from not to say fit, culture, comfort, scheme tailoring doesn't matter for them, but it's less of a factor. The guys that I see for Nebraska in this class, they make sense because they fit what Rob Orrick wants to do, but would they be as successful maybe in a different scheme that they were less familiar with? Or did Nebraska recruit maybe to a certain body type? And, that's fine if that's what Nebraska wants to do. I think the easy kind of cop-out model for that is, hey, look at Indiana, right? I mean, how many of those guys were top 100 transfers, whatever? Well, Indiana went the old, they went the proven, and they went the productive route. And Nebraska did an interesting mix of old and young, of proven and potential, of production, and we hope it turns out. And I think more of the guys in Nebraska's tier, specifically a place like Nebraska that doesn't really know what its identity is yet. I was going to compare them to like a Minnesota or to an Iowa. But those coaches, those programs know what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So maybe like a Nebraska, a Michigan State, a Wisconsin, teams like that at that level across the country just have to go get sometimes the best players available, which is probably not going to be one of those quote unquote scheme proof guys.
Yeah.
But they also need to, I think, start taking those steps to identify what do we want this to look like? Does this guy look like he fits the mold? So then you get the benefit of the doubt when you don't have those guys in the top 100, kind of like basketball.
Right.
I mean, how many of Nebraska's transfers over the last 3-4 years would have been on anyone's top 50 or top 100 list? Price Sanford, borderline. Bryce Williams, maybe. Brinkmast, maybe. Juwan Gary, we would have seen. But they fit. They had to play and they had a role.
Yeah.
And I think you can get by with some of that in football, but it also doesn't change the fact that you just need dudes. You just need studs sometimes.
Yeah, you need football. We need football players, guys that love football, love the work, love the grind, that want to, prove themselves. And obviously, they want to be compensated as well. But I think you get more football guys, they'll figure out how to make any scheme work.
Yeah.
You in a good coach and good coaches will say, oh man, we were kind of wishing we were playing, a 3-3-5, but we got this dude over here, man, and he's really good. And a 4-man front, we're going to have to really look at doing a 4-man front or vice versa. Or you got to play 3-4, or we're going to have to play maybe more of a base 3 or a 4-3 because, Owen Chambliss and obviously, say Foster really takes off in the middle. And then you want to get Shavers in there as far as like being able to kind of be your strong side blitzer and run stuffer. So I was like, man, we got 3 linebackers that can, run our zone coverages, that can, communicate and stop the run. Then you might morph from the 4-2-5 to a true 4-3, and that'd be your major. And then obviously you play regular nickel when you have to. So, right now Nebraska needs like football players. And so I don't think the ranking really, means anything. More importantly, the most important thing is identifying talent. And above that is identifying the person. You have to hit on that. Guys that are invested, that are going to be here and appreciate what you have and not feel entitled and get lazy. That's the most important thing you have to do. And
it's probably the hardest thing to scout.
That's the hardest thing to scout. It's the hard because it was a given back 10 years ago. It's a skill now. And it's something that should be at as much as you're looking at 40 times or vertical jump or, arm length or whatever it is, that needs to be at the top. Because when you're trying to build a program, it doesn't have to be perfect. The only thing that has to be perfect is a mix of guys because they will make it work. If you want an example of that, look at the New England Patriots. They put a bunch of football guys in there, maybe cast off, but guys that needed an opportunity. They fit their schemes to their skill set, and it's worked out like gangbusters.
But the Patriots could get away with that because they had some of those banner name stars, right?
Those
but
guys not on defense, though.
Not on defense.
Right.
They got some eventually.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm talking, back in the day. I'm talking right now.
Oh, sure.
I'm talking like what they did right now.
Yeah, right now, absolutely.
They were very strategic in who they went and got in free agency.
Yeah.
And yes, they had Gonzalez already, and they got rid of Jabril Peppers that had a Pro Bowl year before, but he didn't fit because it was either a personality or skill or whatever it was, or maybe probably more salary cap and all that, and they were trying to let him go. But they got Milton Williams, right, which then allowed them to go get Chasen out there on the outside from Jacksonville, who was playing behind higher draft and more draft picks and more productive. So then now he gets an opportunity, and they have him doing what? Play on an open side.
Yeah.
So we don't need you over a tight end or trying to take on double teams. We need you setting the edge, and they're playing everything to their schemes. That's what Nebraska needs, especially on defense, because you have a new defensive coordinator. I think they are from the body types. I'm looking at like Anthony Jones, obviously a 6'5", 265. He's an edge. It's kind of like what they kind of had out there in San Diego State. They're trying to be a little bit more thicker to go in. You got Willis McGahee coming back, so he's part of your portal class. And then you get a couple safeties in like Dwayne McDougal, who knows this scheme. And then you got what's his name, Siggs and Victor Evans. So there's a type of long corners that you want. So you can either plug and play those guys, or it's going to create instant competition that's going to make the guys that have been here raise their level of play, even to exceed the guys that are coming in. There's no guaranteed guys coming in besides maybe like McDougal and Chambliss, because they know the scheme. They should be penciled in to start, right?
Should be, but can you guarantee step up in competition leads to a step up in production or even maintain.
I mean, they're going to get first right. I feel like Shigs is what another state. I think that they're going to have I call it the first right of refusal.
They'll be out there at the ones first day of spring ball.
Right. They know it. They got to play them way out there at the way. And I doubt. I mean, if they do, then that's on them.
Right.
Now that doesn't mean that you're going to play every single snap. That means you're going to be a starter, and you're expected to make big plays because you know the scheme. You're the teachers as as you go. So the ranking of the portal class doesn't really matter to me. The only thing is that matters is their production, because you got Whittington, right? He's 6 foot 270. I was a ball boy for John Randall, and he wasn't. He was about 6'1". But he was about that size, but he never got blocked in one-on-one his whole career. And so Whittington's gonna have to come in and be like that 3 technique, and he's gonna have to be a guy that's gonna be instant energy and making plays. He's not gonna be able to hang in there against Iowa for 60, 70 plays.
No.
But he's gonna have to make magic when he gets on the field. And then obviously you got Stoudemire, that he's a guy that's coming in with some experience. Obviously, seems like he's coming off an injury or whatever, so he's got to play well, because he's going to be kind of like you're going to Riley Van Poppel and him. You got to plug up the middle, and you got to be really good. So these guys got to be productive if they play the role that they need to play. Big, small, or medium. The ranking will mean nothing, because then you will be talking about, okay, like we did with Fred. You know exactly what you want, what you need, who you need, and they're executing above what people are projecting at, and then you'll be in the same position.
Yeah, it's a group that you understand why they ended up with the pieces they did, why they went the directions that they did on the football side in the portal. I can understand maybe some fans wanting a bigger, splashier name, because sometimes, Jay, that's what you need, right? Sometimes you just need a dude who can take over, go and dominate. Maybe it was price point, maybe it was interest, whatever it was. I think if you're in Nebraska, you got to hope you have those impact guys on your roster already, and that they can take a step forward. I mean, you think about a guy like Williams Nwaneri, right? That seems like a guy that could, wreck games if he's in it 100% of the time, with the motor going full bore, right? You think about, a guy like Calandria. Is that who it is? Right? And under the radar guy that really bursts onto the scene. Kind of feels like it's been a while since Nebraska's had one of those guys. Maybe, Amir Abdullah, maybe Emmett Johnson falls in that mold, but we kind of been talking about Emmett for a little bit.
Yeah.
I just think it's time for, this coaching staff to have an identity, to have a plan, because I don't think it's a good look for Nebraska to be shut out of the top 100 players in the portal.
Yeah.
Is it ideal? I don't think so. Is it the end all be all? Absolutely not. But you're going to be in the conversation for more of these top 100 guys when you have something concrete to sell, when they know what they're walking into, when they know what to expect, when they don't have to look over their shoulder, or they're not just counting the dollar bills. They're not just looking at the check and making sure it holds up.
That's a hard line to toe, because you go against those, like, the known guys, right? The scheme proof guys, or guys that you're actually going to curtail your scheme to. You're gonna
it's big boy business.
You're going to pay them a lot, but then you got to make sure that they don't get like fat and happy with it and come here and just get a check. It is a hard thing to toe, but I think also wins nullify that, because when you're winning and they get paid, once you lock the doors and the portal's over, essentially now you mine.
We're all we got. We're all we need.
Well, there's no more talking about business. The business is handled. The business is football now. And so, but I think, there's Nebraska, if things works out well and they win, or when they win or whatever, then then that'll change again. Like Kirk Cignetti is working with a different type of swagger and different. his black book, who he's contacting in the portal, is significantly different from last offseason to this season.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see how you handle this, because the type of players that you won with, older, seasoned players, something to prove, is how you won a national championship. Now you're going to be exposed to a different type of player that maybe you don't know as well, because you don't know their background yet, right? Versus like Nebraska trying to get there to get exposed to the same type of players, because you want to get to that level. It can be a win-win or lose-lose situation. You just got to kind of just, every cycle is just a learning experience. You learn about yourself, learning what players want, because the next cycle of players that come out in the portal might be a whole different cycle of mindset than this portal season.
Maybe it's a sophomore and junior heavy year next year as opposed to a senior or grad transfer or freshman.
Or guys that are
year,
just trying to level up and get a chance. And, there's the running back down at the Senior Bowl at Oklahoma that never played. And they're talking about him going in the second day, in the second or third round. So you just
without getting on the field.
Yeah. It's a question now, but we shall see. We're going to take a quick break, come back. We'll get Ryan Held on the hotline, be able to spend more time with him. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Just got new tires put on my car today.
You did? I didn't see you leave the office.
I didn't need to. Graham Tire picked up my car this morning and dropped it back off and they were done.
You're kidding. How'd you get that kind of service?
That's just what they do at Graham Tire.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Dinner and a movie? You've done that. Arbor Axe House has a date night deal that really hits. This Valentine's Day, enjoy a special rate that includes an hour of axe throwing for 2 plus drinks and koozies. Reserve your lane today at arboraxe.com. Arbor Axe House on the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart Smith. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320. When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SauterHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
If you're tired of the dieting circuit paradox but still want to look, feel, and perform better, you need to get to Nutrition Authority and ask about our nutrition coaching featuring LifeBase. LifeBase takes a complex world of nutrition and makes it simple with real results that last. Stop in to learn more or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. Got the sun coming out here in Lincoln, even though the temperatures are not rising. It's probably a little bit of fool's gold here, right here. But, trying to get a heat wave. But I can tell you what, the guy that we have on the line brings the heat. We want to welcome in University of Nebraska Kearney head football coach. I want to get it right, quarterbacks and tight ends, but really the head football coach, Ryan Held. Welcome to Old School, my man.
Well, I appreciate you having me. I'm excited to be on and appreciate the opportunity.
Ryan, I think it was really, we've been talking. We always talk. I mean, obviously we'll go over, obviously we played together, but we just talked recently. I think it's really good to start to, have you on whenever we can, just because you're building a program, doing great things out there. We have a lot of families that play football or have kids that play football, high interest. We talk high school football all the time. So I think it's really good. Obviously, you got a big day coming up next week, but I think it's really good to, put you out there, obviously in Lincoln. Obviously, you're all over Lincoln recruiting like no other, because you got energy for recruiting and built up your career by recruiting in places that most people don't think that they can find players. And so we'll start right there, Ryan. Actually, I want to start way back in the day. Obviously, we played together. We won in national championship teams. Tell the listeners what got you, in the mindset to, I'm going to get into this life of being a coach.
Well, when I was a walk-on player, Jay, in the 90s, I was, a receiver, and Coach Brown was my position coach. I grew up in Kansas City, and I loved the Huskers growing up. I had family in Omaha and Bellevue. My grandfather was a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. So, I just always loved Nebraska. And when I got a chance to walk on, I loved the opportunity to do it. I knew when I went to Nebraska, I was never going to be a special player in the sense of a big-time guy, but I wanted to go there and, be a sponge, be a guy that learned, help the team out, do all the things to, make myself better, help the team get better. But just, always growing up, or when I was growing up, I always knew that I wanted to be a coach. It was just one of those things, it hits you. And I loved what Bill Snyder ended up doing at Kansas State, and I just knew that this is what I wanted to do. And I think most of the players that were on the team knew that I enjoyed, that aspect of it, and then when I was done, remember, I became an undergrad coach. I worked for Coach Solich, and, so that was, I did that, and then everything took off from there. But, I loved the X's and O's, and, I loved when I was done playing, being in those meetings with Coach Osborne and Coach Gill and Milt Tenneper and Dan Young. I love that time, and learning how to run the option, all the different things that we did. And it just took off from there, and I've loved every minute of it.
People, I don't think that, I think coaches, don't get enough credit. We talked about high school coaches, obviously in the youth sport coaches yesterday, Ryan, for about a good hour. It's a great segment. But I mean, when I say Ryan's gotten out of the mud, he really has. Obviously, he was an undergraduate, 1997 special year. Went on to Tennessee, volunteered. We won't hold that against you. And then right away, you went to Peru State, head coach, Oklahoma Panhandle State, Southwestern Oklahoma head coach, Butler Community College, Highland Community College, Northeastern Oklahoma A&M. Then the big break came. You were obviously down in Central Florida, and then came back here, was the running backs coach and recruiting coordinator. And then after that, I mean, this is where I think people don't even realize your reputation as a leader and as a man. Then you go down to North Alabama, offensive coordinator, interim head coach, and got an uptick in talent or production there. And then you come back to Kearney. I think that when you have a coach, and obviously the coaching industry has changed so much, a guy that loves coaching. I remember, Ryan, remember this? We were down at the coaches convention, me, you, and Troy Duhas, trying to hand out our resume and trying to figure it out and see where we go from there. And I remember you calling me, and he's like, I'm going to get into this coaching thing. And next thing you know, here we are in 2026. Obviously, a head coach at Nebraska Kearney, and is heavy in the streets in the parts of Nebraska, and always is looking for a recruit. So if you're listening and you know anybody, send it to us in the ticket. I'll get it to Ryan. Ryan definitely and his staff is doing a good job of recruiting Nebraska. Ryan, speaking of your staff, one of the things I want to always ask you as a coach, your experience with Coach Osborne, Coach Solich, Tennessee, and all the different places, what are the first big one or two things that you look for in an assistant coach or a staff member?
Well, number one is, what type of person they are, what type of family man they are, how do they treat people. I think you have to start at the core of what this person is, number one. Number two is, what type of teacher are they? How do they have the ability to teach and then develop talent? Number three, the ability to recruit. I mean, you have to be able to recruit in this profession. You have to be able to build the relationships, and then at the end of the day, do we align? My mission statement, why I do this, is to help kids become their best version on and off the field. And we don't cuss players out. We don't, like I saw the other day, and I retweeted it on the one coach, I don't remember who it was, in the NFL, talking about how he saw his kid for 30 minutes in a day. And Mike McDonald. And I'm not living in that world. I mean, I want guys to be fathers, husbands, and being able to build their family up and then being able to build their room up. We have a great work-life balance. As long as I've been in this profession, I've seen, different things as you go along. But, like today at noon, on Fridays, a couple of Fridays in the off season, we're done at noon. Go home and take your wife out to lunch. Go pick your kids up from elementary school. Those little things, are very important to me. And I'm not going to change from that as long as I'm in this profession. But you got to be able to, to align with with your coaches on every level. Spiritual life's very important to us. We do Bible studies on Wednesdays with the coaching staff. We got that from Coach Osborne. You remember that, how important, and Coach Brown was obviously very important in that as well. But again, it's a choice. But, these are all things that are very important to me when I'm looking for a coach and a person that because you got to work with these people, right, every single day, and you got to align philosophically in everything that you do, and that's important when we look at players and we look at coaches. We do a lot of due diligence to make sure it'll mix.
Coach, on that point, that perspective, is that something that's easier to come by the JUCO D2, D3 level? Or is that something that, could be there at the D1 level too, that just, conveniently happens to be the thing that gets pushed off to the side by more coaching staffs?
Well, I can tell you Bob Stoops down in Oklahoma, he won a lot of games. Yes, a lot. And he would have his coaches come in after they drop their kids off at elementary school or school, get in about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and then they'd be done at 6. There's different ways to skin a cat. The problem in our profession is everybody feels like they have to guard their desks and they have to prove a point. Oh, I'm up here working. You're not working. Like how long, Jay, do you have to sit there and figure out a way to stop power? How much film do you have to watch? Like have your way of doing things, have your standard, have the, your philosophicalness and terms of schemes and everything, and have everybody understand what the expectations are. Kurt Signetti, if I'm understanding, and I don't want to put his business out there too much, but he's not having his coaches up there until 10, 11 o'clock at night every night. They're home at 6. Get your work done, be efficient in your time, and do your thing. And you don't have to be up there till midnight to figure these things out. You're not working harder. You're not working smart enough. Then if you're tired and your brain's not where it needs to be, and again, it can be 4th and 1. I'm not dealing with 4th and 1. You know what 4th and 1 means, right? Everybody's walking around on eggshells, worrying about their job, worrying about this, worrying about that. Then you can't, have a free, open mind to get it done. Now, I understand it's a win result business, right? We didn't win enough at Nebraska, and I was there to get it done because we couldn't win a close game, all right? But there's still different ways of doing it, and you don't have to work till midnight to figure this deal out.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I mean, I think that, you see difference in obviously I was fortunate enough to play in the pros, and there's, when I was in Buffalo with Wade Phillips and we won a ton of games, I mean, he was like, hey, listen, come Friday, we were done early, by noon. That's everybody. Building was like, if you forgot something, you better get a hold of the security guard. There's no coaches to get anything out of there because, he wanted you to be fresh. He felt like later in the season, that's when you win some games. Now let's flip to the players there, Ryan. Obviously, we know we can't get into specifics, but I want to talk about your recruiting and what you look for in a player. And you alluded it a little bit to it with the coaches. But what are the kind of things you look for, in the athletes? Obviously, things have changed drastically since Nebraska, and obviously changed actually since last offseason for you as far as the different rules and stuff. But what are the kind of things you look for in this day and age when you're trying to recruit these high school athletes that are coming out in the social media, boom or bust type of mentality?
Well, what I can tell you is this, and you could ask any coach that you could have them on, and they'd say, well, what is Ryan's one of the number one things that we look for? And it's character. It's the coachability piece. What kind of person are they? The more I've been coaching for 27 years, and you can have the greatest player, but if he's not a good person, if he's not a good teammate, if he doesn't protect his warrior the right, the warrior the left, all the different things, you're not going to win with those guys consistently. So number one, we look for, great people and guys that love football. All right. And so that there's a lot of that. I can tell you this now, it's different at my level. I think, Jay, I don't know who Nebraska's gotten in the portal, but I listened for a minute. You were talking about a 6'1", 270-pound, maybe as a defensive lineman. Yeah. I kind of caught the end of it, but I will say this, measurables are important. Like everybody, he's 6'4" and has long arms and, he needs the length and all this. And there's definite value in that. But I can tell you this, the more I'm doing this, now my level is not D1, all right, but the MIAA is big-time football, all right? But is he a good football player, all right? Can he play the game of football? And I can tell you, the more you're in it, the more you want those type of guys. So, for us at UNK, we're in the MIAA. We're the only school in Nebraska in the MIAA. So we're playing really good football teams. We do play Wayne State and Shatter, and they do a really nice job on our non-conference, which is neat. So we keep it in state for our non-conference. But, we want to recruit the state of Nebraska. I think we've done as good a job as anybody in many years in the state at our level to getting Nebraska kids and getting Midwest kids. And I can't, obviously, like you said, Jake, I can't talk specifics, but I think of the 40-ish newcomers that we're getting, about 33 or 34 are from Nebraska or within Kansas City is big for us because I'm from there and, they're in the MIAA footprint. That's important because those kids will stay. They will come and develop. And, I'm not saying they're not going to get the transfer portal, but they're more apt to come. They want to get a great education. They want to be developed on and off the field. And they want, Kearney's a great place. We have really good facilities and great people here. The more I'm in this too, and I know Nebraska's different and the transfer portal's different than when we were there, but it still comes down to if you can continue to get really good high school kids and develop them, they could leave you. But instead of living in the world of getting these guys that maybe 1-year guys, 2-year guys that might not have as much vested interest in the program, the more guys you can get, hopefully that will develop and stay, obviously, that's how you're going to continue to build the program.
Yeah, I mean, that's really good for everybody that's listening. We got a lot of listeners. They got kids that play. They're coming up the pipe, and so it's really good, refreshing to hear, because I talked to you more on the basketball level, but football, where you have a really good school in Nebraska Kearney that wants Nebraska players and wants to keep them around. Because I think one of the things that we talked about, you don't have to get into specifics, and it's something that I kind of was thinking, like how you're able to have some guys maybe come down, from the FBS level, and then be able to go back up. And talk about that process, because I think in order for you to be okay with it, you have to be very comfortable in your own self and then in your program, because you know that it's going to be a win-win situation, because they play good, you develop them, they're able to move on, then it's a selling point to you, but then also you get a benefit of it because they'll either make tackles or score touchdowns or whatever need be.
Well, here's the deal. You have to evolve as a coach and understand what does it come to, okay? And I've told our coaches this. You love your players, but don't fall in love with them, because it's unfortunately, in a lot of sense, a transactional business. I don't get butthurt if a guy leaves or wants to go and try to make it better for himself. That's okay. Like let's look at one kid. Okay, so Devon Hall, okay, who Bellevue West, right? Plays at Nebraska, comes to me for 1 year. All right, does a really nice job for us, and then he got in the portal and he moved on, and he went to a place, that he felt was important, was good for the next fit in his point in life. But it was a great deal for us. He came here, we helped him, develop more as a man. We helped him be better in the football field, and now he's moved on. And it was a really win-win situation. We're not a junior college, Jay, but here's the facts. Okay. I've had numerous coaches talk to me. Hey, coach, we might not, we have a guy, we can't take him right now, but we'd love to be able to put him in your spot, to come and develop. Okay, and then maybe in a couple of years down the road, we'd like to reconvene, and then maybe we can get him back. That's the world we live in, Jay. Now, I can't have 50 of those guys, but if there's 5 or 6 guys that if Nebraska, Coach Rule called me and said, hey, listen, here's an offensive lineman in state. We like him, but we can't take him right now due to our, the 105. Would you take him and get him in your weight program and develop him, and he gets to play MIAA football? I run this like a D1 thing, okay, D1 program. These guys can come and develop as good as anywhere, all right? That's the world we're going to live in, and I think you're going to see more and more of that. You look, there's a lot of really good D2 players that moved on to D1, okay, because this is good football, and I'm open to that. There's already a couple of coaches that have already talked to me potentially about that, and we'll see, how that moves forward. But that's the kind of openness you have to have now as a coach. You can't get all freaked out about it. It's the world we live in. Roll with it. Figure it out. Like, be proactive. I want to be proactive in this, and that's what we can do, I think, moving forward.
Yeah, I think that's great when you've obviously been in the business and you've been on a different level. So you can when you articulate things to say, like, I was a recruit and I'm thinking about going to JUCO versus like Nebraska Kearney. You've been there and done that, so your experience actually can help them make a more educated decision whether they end up going to Kearney or another school. And that's the one thing I guess I admire about you, Ryan, is that you've been able to evolve. You've been in every different, kind of level, and you've brought those experiences with you. And I think that's why you're continue to be successful there at Nebraska Kearney. And then obviously you got a big day coming next week. For everybody that's listening, what's the, I know you got spring ball. I know, I know you're very, very humble in your assessment of your team. But from last year to this year, or coming up, going through, you're going to be in the winter conditioning and all that. What's the loopers are going to be next year?
Yeah, so we had a winning season last year. We've gotten better every year, Jay. We're as good as anybody in the MIAA. We have to continue to get better, like every program does. We have 100, I think, in 9 guys going through winter conditioning right now, as good a numbers as I've ever had as a head coach. We brought in 21 transfers at the break with a great foundation. We had about an 88% retention rate of my football team after the season, which is really good in today's world. Right. So kids want to be a part of it. I think we've created a culture that guys will come and they'll put in the work, and, we just finished week 3 and we have a really great strength program, and we're really trying to help our guys develop lean muscle mass like the old days with Boyd and everybody. And, we talk about it all the time, that our season, when we start in August, hasn't been decided, or it's been decided. We just haven't played the games due to our work in the winter conditioning and when we get started in spring ball. But we'll sign probably 30 plus kids, 30, 40 kids. And, I'm sure there'll be a little bit more attrition, after the spring, but we should be rolling in 135 guys, for the Lopers in the fall. We open up against Wayne State on a Thursday night, a big game. And, then we go to Shadron after that. And then we start MIAA play. But I feel really good where we're at. We had a 3.0 team GPA, so guys, people can come to Kearney and they can develop on and off the field. We're going to treat them right. I mean, we're not perfect, but we're going to do it the right way. I've learned from a lot of great coaches, and listen, I've lived in towns of 500 people, and I've been at the pinnacle, at 13-0 at UCF, and everything was great going to Nebraska. I mean, it was, Jay, you and I talked when we got the job. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever for a guy like me that was a walk-on player that got a chance to come back to Nebraska and be a coach. And, sometimes it just doesn't work out. God has a plan. And, I mean, we got fired at Nebraska. Did I like it? No, but we deserved to be fired. We didn't win enough. I get it. It's the business. So I go to North Alabama. I thought that was, it was a great deal. I was interim head coach. I thought I had a chance for that job, and boom, it didn't happen. So here I am again. I got to move my family again. What am I going to do? Cry about it? No, you got to be a grown man and figure it out. Mark Bauer called me at Kearney, and it's just been a blessing. And, in life, you can sit there and mope about it or figure it out. And as long as, Jay, I get to help kids become their best version, and I can still coach football in this world, this is what I love to do, and this is what God has me planned to do, and I wouldn't change it for anything in the world.
Yeah, man. I mean, you can obviously, everybody listening, he knows that obviously I can vouch for you. My man's passionate about coaching football. He was a coach back in the day. I remember, when we were flying out to Washington, about to go do our thing, and I always used to talk to Ryan about the game, what we had going on. We had nicknames for each other. It's great to see what you're doing, man. Appreciate you having on. Tell Mr. Murphy, man, out there, Doctor, I call him Dollar Bill. Tell Bill I said what's up, and then I'll say I got to make sure I get out there and come check you guys out when it's warm enough in the spring. But I'll come out there and bring my winter coat, man, to come check you guys out, man.
Come out, baby.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Yeah. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah,
it really means a lot,
again, man. Have a good weekend, man. Tell everybody.
You too.
Hello. All right, man. That was good, man. It was Ryan Held, head football coach, UNK. Obviously, been well traveled, but he seemed to find a pretty good home out there in Kearney, recruiting a lot of Nebraska players, Kansas City. It's good to have him on. Big day for him coming next week, and obviously a big season coming up. Very humble in his assessment. They had a good season last year, and they're looking to do great things moving in 2026. So we're going to take a quick break, come back, put a bow on this 3 o'clock hour. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, we'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com. All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Every winter, I struggle with feeling sluggish and down. I've read about the benefits of red light systems, but trying the Spectrum 7 at MaxTan has become my bright spot. A few sessions of full body red light, and I'm more energized and centered. It's my go-to winter boost, MaxTan.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
At Anderson Ford, we have commission-free guides who are paid to give you a great experience, not make a sale, so you can choose the best vehicle for you. Right now at Anderson Ford, lease a 2025 Ford Escape for $222 per month. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 4003618. Lease for $222 per month for 36 months with approved credit. 7,500 miles per year. 5,000 plus first payment due at signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Plus take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 2226.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School, coming at you live. Once again, want to give a shout out to Ryan Held, former teammate, obviously, former Nebraska assistant coach, and now the head coach at UNK. He's been a head coach at a few places and building a program out there. I like the best thing. He's looking for relationships both with his coaches and players, and it's very. I think it's very where he's very honest. Like, hey, I'm gonna love all my players and not gonna fall in love with them, and that's actually the conversation that we're going to continue to have at 5 o'clock. Like if you're a parent and you're coaching, you love the players, coach them hard, love them in the time being. Just be prepared. Once that season's over, they're looking, and he's well aware of it. But also, I think they provide such a good experience and program out there, and they're recruiting the right kids in their kind of wheelhouse that they don't have that much. He had I think 88% retention. And he talked about David Hall, who went other places. A couple other guys went other places, and he's cool with it because he delivered on his promise. They delivered on their promise, and it's nothing but good vibes when it happens. So appreciate him coming on real quick. One quick thing for our Minnesota Vikings fans. Obviously, when we get back into the NFL talk, maybe later in the 5 o'clock hour, the GM. Listen, the one thing when you're in those positions and you're in those press conferences and they ask you about a player that's successful or players, and I know Kevin O'Connell went to the ownership and was a little mad because they didn't have Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold, you can't say, oh, that keeps me up at night. I wish we made another decision. Within 24 hours, less than 24 hours, you're gone. So analytics don't really work in major sports. They're part of it. That's not what you can live and die by. And unfortunately, from a man from Minnesota, his career there is over.
Fell on the sword.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Well, he's got analytics. So we're going to take a quick break, come back, top of the 4 o'clock hour. We'll dive in a little bit of basketball. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320. If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and wow, what a year it was at Koppel. The Koppel family would like to say thank you for a record-setting sales year in 2025. Now let's start 2026 off with the bang. New GMC Sierra pickups starting at $12,500 off list or 0% APR. Also hot off the presses, new Terrain leases at $299 per month. That's right, $299 per month on new GMC Terrain leases. So please stop on in the store or online at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G138852 and G16518. 2,500 down with proof credit.
At Anderson Ford, we have commission-free guides who are paid to give you a great experience, not make a sale, so you can choose the best vehicle for you. Right now at Anderson Ford, lease a 2025 Ford Escape for $222 per month. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 4003618. Lease for $222 per month for 36 months with approved credit. 7,500 miles per year. 5,000 plus first payment due at signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 2/2/26.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Every winter, I struggle with feeling sluggish and down. I've read about the benefits of red light systems, but trying the Spectrum 7 at MaxTan has become my bright spot. A few sessions of full-body red light, and I'm more energized and centered. It's my go-to winter boost, MaxTan.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of January, because get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying, let's sit around the table, let's drop some plans, let's put numbers together, let's get a budget put together, and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Don't wait. The clock is ticking at Landmark Implement's annual inventory reduction sale. For a limited time, get special financing as low as 1.9% for 12 months, then 6.2% interest for 48 months on select equipment. No auction, no waiting, just inventory price to move. Once it's gone, it's gone. Visit Landmark Implement or shop online at landmarkimp.com. Then click on the featured used equipment and experience the Landmark difference.
Hey there, this is Paul Shield, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked up by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome in hour 2 of Old School. Austin Orman and Jay Foreman with you. Big thanks to University of Nebraska Kearney head coach Ryan Held for joining us there in that first hour. Don't forget, you can go back and listen to the podcast version. If you missed it, want to listen back to something that Coach Held said during that half an hour or so that we had with him, really appreciate his time for that. 402-464-5685, whatever's on your mind. Would love to hear from you. Eric says on our Starter Human Jewelers text line, my man, overtime, Jay. Have a great Friday, fellas.
Yeah, man. You know what? I don't think Eric texted in yesterday.
Ooh, let's see. Eric, did you text in yesterday?
No, you didn't. Where were you at, Eric?
Eric, scrolling back. Eric, you are okay.
Yeah.
I see him at, Eric is at 2:07,
Yeah.
and then not again until today at 11.
Yeah. Where were you, Eric?
Eric, part-timer.
Yeah.
Lame. You know who doesn't work part-time? Graham Tire.
That's
They've
right.
been working full-time for 75 years of serving the Midwest. More than just tires, all kinds of car and light truck repairs, too. From brakes to oil changes, trust Graham Tire for service you can count on. Graham Tire, getting you to the places that matter most. All right, 402-464-5685. Got a couple of Super Bowl squares to give away. First 2 people in with the correct answer to this question will earn a Super Bowl square. All right. What was the first and last name of Catherine O'Hara's character in Home Alone? Starter Heyman Jewelers text line, 402-464-5685. What was the first and last name of Catherine O'Hara's character in Home Alone? She passed away today at the age of 71. Eric says he was turning wrenches, got to get equipment ready.
That's an excuse.
Ben says Eric was too busy hanging out at Weenie Hut Jr.
Yeah, I think that's more accurate description.
I don't know. I don't want
do better, Eric.
You can do better. Westy, we need the first name, right? First name and the last name. Mom does not work. You have the last name correct. But again, the first and last name for Catherine O'Hara's character in Home Alone. Dalton, you are in. In 5807, you are in. Kate McAllister is the name of Catherine O'Hara's character in the movie Home Alone. More Super Bowl squares coming up. More basketball coming up for Husker Hoops. Jay, Sunday against Illinois. We've talked a little bit about this game. We got a final update from Fred Hoiberg earlier today on the status of the 2 guys that have missed some time for the Huskers. We'll start with Rink Mast. He tried to give it a go on Tuesday against Michigan. Said in the postgame that Rink Mast wasn't able to keep down any food or even any water. So Rink Mast disappears into the tunnel, not to be seen again for Nebraska. Michigan, when they got back, Fred Hoiberg said on Wednesday, Rink Mast went to the emergency room severely dehydrated, went home around 2:30 the next morning after receiving some bags of IV fluids. The update then is that today Rink Mast rejoined the team. He watched film, participated in the non-contact portion of practice. And here's what Fred Hoiberg has to say. If Rink responds well the rest of the day and has a good day tomorrow, we anticipate him being out there on Sunday, not knowing exactly what he's going to be able to give us. He's lost a ton of weight. He's still very weak, but it was good to see him. It was good to see him back in the gym today.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, it's been going around. I mean, it lingers too. So it's not like a quick 24-hour thing, obviously. And I mean, everybody you talk to, you got, I have friends and family, across the United States. I mean, I think it's hit every part of the nation. So it's something you got to battle through as a team, and obviously you keep wishing Rink speedy recovery, but Rink obviously is invested enough. If he could be out there, and I'm assuming he might be out there, maybe not at full capacity come Sunday, he definitely would. But it's part of the season. It's part of the when you're at the stage that they are, and they're going to play in the arena. And the arena, I mean, is like the high pressure games. Illinois coming in. Illinois doesn't care that you're whether it's Rink or Braden, or whether you're, or even like Sam, a little sick, or even Fred, is a little under the weather, or said he might have been for a little while. They're not going to pull any punches. You got to be willing to go out there and exceed expectations. So I think Rink, it looks like he'll be able to play. He got a couple more days, obviously. Hopefully he continues to go in the upward tick, but I think just his mere presence out there, I think will obviously provide a spark to the team.
Then for Braden Frager, who did not make the trip up north either to Minnesota or to Ann Arbor, Fred Hoiberg said that Frager went through about half of practice on Friday, including some contact work. His status for Illinois will depend on how his ankle responds to practice on Saturday. We'll see how he responds to work he did today and see how he responds on Sunday. The initial time frame that Fred Hoiberg gave was 2 to 4 weeks. It's been 8 days since Frager.
He's young, man. Hey, listen.
He's got to get on the Steph Curry ankle program.
Hey, man, he's young. He recovers quick, man. He recovers quick. These dudes, and he's a tough kid, and I'm sure he wants. I mean, I'm sure he, hates to miss and wants to get out there and compete. But also, I think he's probably rational enough that he wants to make sure that he doesn't compromise himself or the team. So I think it's good that he's able to do something, which then obviously is part of the recovery. And then you kind of ramp it up, see how he reacts to it. They have a great medical staff over there, and obviously he probably takes good care of himself on his own. So I think his recovery time could be sped up, maybe Sunday or maybe shortly after.
So sounds like a pretty true game time decision for Frager. Mast, I would assume, would be more likely to play, but both will likely be listed as questionable when the injury report comes out at best.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
I think Frager
is
questionable at best. Rink is just regular questionable. But I think if you get one or both back, I think it bodes well for Nebraska.
Nebraska took down Illinois in game number 11 of the season. It'll be game 22 for both of these teams, I believe, coming up on Sunday. Nolan says, keep Frager out, need him healthy for March. I think that cuts both ways, Jay. That's not a guy you want to rush back. It's like you said, at the expense of whatever the rest of his future holds. But also, you want to get a guy back worked into the rotation in time, because you think about, when do you want to peak? No, you don't want to peak in January. Late February into March, you want to be playing your best basketball.
You want to get your rhythm back, too.
Right. And if you keep Frager out, longer than he needs to be out, it just gets harder to build that rhythm.
Yeah, you want to keep that rhythm going. You want him in a rhythm, get into it, back to his rhythm. He's got to get a shot back and all that stuff. And, I'm sure he's shooting at some point. But, I mean,
he did the shooting non-contact.
Yeah, but you want to be full speed and see how he does there, and see what his pain threshold's at. And like I said, he's a tough kid. I know they'll get him back. And Fred, Fred's been the great thing about having a former player as a coach, as a head coach, and obviously everybody else is played at some form as a staff, is that Fred's been in these situations before, so he knows, from his experience. He's going to do what's best for Braden, but then also he's going to understand the team as well. So it's really good to have him kind of like that, in real-time experience, being able to lead the team through different, situations.
83-80, Nebraska won it the first time. And Jay, let's talk about the second matchup, right? You're familiar with that from the NFL, right? You play your divisional teams 2 times a year. Maybe sometimes you get a playoff rematch down the road. But a team that you're somewhat familiar with, there's some shared history, in the same conference like Nebraska, Illinois. In the NFL, obviously, it's divisions when you play these teams twice every year. what goes into the second matchup that's different from the first time?
A lot, man. I think it's, who's playing well, who's not. Both teams are playing well.
Mhm.
So that's just rinse and repeat. And both of them have played or have gotten better since the first game. So there's no advantage of like,
Mhm.
they're on a 4-game losing streak and, they've had 8, or like different lineups. And it's kind of, who you're going to be facing against. Obviously, Rink's been, a little bit under the weather, but you know who you're going to be going against. So that is kind of even, Steven. Now you're just seeing what player or players are really, taking off and how their offense has changed a little bit. And that's where you kind of have to maybe change your coverages a little bit, because Wagler 11 games ago is different than the Wagler right now.
Mhm. Now, he did have 19 and 10, but it's a different 19 and 10 now than it was a month and a half
Yeah,
ago.
because he just lit somebody up for 40-some points.
Somebody was Purdue on the road in Mackey Arena.
Yeah, and so, you got, your backcourt or your, is going to have to do a really good job knowing what both of their guards are at, because they both can kind of give you buckets. And so you got to look at, okay, what have they been doing with him and offensively? And obviously their defensive coverages haven't changed much. I watched them last night against Washington. What have they done with him and Stojakovic that has really taken off for those two? Have they switched roles where one's became the more primary ball handler, one's the off-the-ball ball handler, or has it been 50-50?
Well, they've had to switch because Boswell's out with an
Right.
injury. That's something that's changed.
Right, so that's changed. But what then, when you know that, right, what's changed? Okay, then how is their offensive sets changed? Because it's been working. Okay?
Number one offensive efficiency in the country in both all season long and just in conference.
And it's
games.
not just the volume shots, they're making them on an efficiency, high efficiency rate. So then that's what you got to think, okay, now we know where they're at. Now we got to try to adjust maybe our scheme or our coverages different than what we did before, because obviously they weren't operating at this level. So that's the only difference. It's not like, they just, they were getting, it's not like Alabama where you just got some guy that's coming from like the G League or something.
Right.
So like,
Right.
so that's completely different. Now you're just like, hey, we got to, deal with these guys and knowing that you're going to get their best shot. And really it's going to come down to what Nebraska does. Because as much as we're talking about Stojakovic and Wagler, Illinois understands what they're getting into. A 3-point game, and obviously, there was a great shot by Jamarcus, but they're not all created equal.
No.
And here's what I'm saying: this is like they're watching this last game. They're not sitting there as like, oh, this is a back and forth game.
No.
Like Nebraska had a stronghold of this game, and then they were able to withstand our fury at the end. Because as much as you said the game was tied, are you expecting your 7'1" guy to hit a butt naked 3? And he wasn't even an option.
Right. It just ended up with them.
And he definitely won't be the option now.
Right.
And so as they're watching it, they're preparing for Nebraska as much as Nebraska's preparing for Illinois. And so Nebraska's got to think about, we just need to handle our business. We know we're really good on offense and defense. We got to impose our will on them. And then, my man, the Leo Curtis factor.
He did not play in the first matchup.
Exactly.
You got 1 minute from Kendall Blue. You got 13 minutes from Frager, who only took one shot in that game, only had 1 rebound, turnover, and 2 fouls. You got 14 minutes from Jared Garcia, 10 really good ones in the second half. We ended up scoring those 10 points on 4 of 6 from the floor and 2 of 2 at the free throw line, and 16, solid replacement level minutes from Cale Jacobson. Yeah, Jay, what does the Leo Curtis factor potentially bring?
Well, I think as we saw Garcia last time that he played up there, he paid dividends. Now you got both of them, and you need them.
Yeah.
And I think the confidence going against Michigan, if you don't, he got confidence from Michigan because you're playing against the best of the best. So it's no different than playing against Illinois.
Yeah.
But you got a little bit more time to prepare, because it still was because Rink was in warmups.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, well, am I playing? I'm not playing. Then you go in there and you kind of just shoot your shot. Now you feel more comfortable. You got 3 or 4 more days to prepare. Then you got Garcia, so it gives Fred a little bit more flexibility, a longer bench as well, especially earlier in the game, right? Because the excitement's going to be there. It's going to be a nationally televised game. So you want to get those guys in there to kind of, wet their whistle a little bit.
The biggest thing to me when I think about this matchup the second time, Jay, is you probably can't assume Price Sanford's going to go for 26 and a half again. But that's a 2 kind of pronged question. Is number one, what does Illinois do differently? What did Illinois learn from Michigan? Right, especially in the second half to take him away. But number 2, whether it's, football, whether it's baseball, whether it's whatever sport it is, if you're successful with something in a matchup, you're going to want to try to go back to it, right? Nebraska can't galaxy brain itself out of looking for Price Sanford because, Illinois is going to be looking to take him away. So we got to run stuff for other people and hopefully they forget about him. No, you got to test Illinois. They're going to have a new plan for Price Sanford, but you got to make sure that plan's a good one. And then if it is, you got to find other ways to get him going. Price has been pretty good against Illinois in his career, not just at Nebraska, but against Iowa as well. So you can't talk yourself out of going back to what works. You just have to be ready to pivot if Illinois' plan turns out to be a good one.
That's a great point because you don't want to essentially defend yourself before you play the game.
Yeah.
And, look, Price he's getting everybody buckets.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to hit threes.
Mm-hmm.
He's a rifleman. I don't care if he's Stukakis or whatever his name is. Things there. No, you chuck you chuck person there, Price Sanford, whether you like it or not. Yeah, you need might be.
Who you are.
You might need to change your number to 45 and do your thing.
I can't picture that.
Me neither.
Skin and bones Price Sanford like me with 45. Nah.
But they got to go. But the thing is that you're right. Where Nebraska or Price was getting off, it was just their offense, and then they were smart enough when he's hitting. That's the difference between like high school and college. In high school, a guy hits a couple threes. They're like, "Oh, we ain't passing you no more because we got to shoot."
Our turn,
right? Yeah, our turn. Like, forget winning. We're just going to, right? Whereas in college, Fred's going to keep running stuff in actions to get him open. And then obviously other guys will be able to get busy as well. And so if you're able to get Rink back, like I said, this might be a perfect time for his Jordan flu game.
How about it?
Just imagine if, when Rink gets busy and they have the flu game. What is it going to be
back like Jordan wearing the 5-1?
Yeah, back like Jordan wearing the 5-1 and then have, what did you eat? You know what I mean? You had the stomach ache. So, the Nebraska just got to handle their business. I'm
curious to see if this is an offensive game like last time where you get up into the 80s, or if there are enough,
this is gonna be
savvy.
This is going to be a grinded out game.
And I think that benefits Nebraska. Illinois can do that. They did it a little bit against Washington, who's pesky, who's tough. But I do think that if this game devolves a little bit, I trust Nebraska down a little bit more in the mud than I do Illinois.
I do, especially with the youth at guards and also obviously the elder statesman we have at guards and Fred's ability to run different sets because that means that game is going to be controlled by the maestro, and that's right up Fred's alley. And that's what you do not want to get into. Letting Fred sitting up there like and he be drawing. Have you ever watch him when he gets that clipboard?
Oh, man has the time of his life with it.
Oh, he just loves it. He just give it to him. Let me just go ahead and just slice you up. So I think that it bodes well for Nebraska and I'm looking right now like opponents, and that's sometimes what you do. That just comes from coaching. AAU that you like. All right, who did they beat and all that.
Yeah,
it's gonna be. Look, man, you're gonna roll the ball out there. It's gonna be physical. I think Illinois once again is going to try to be physical with Nebraska. Nebraska's going to use their skill and their smarts and their savvy, and plus they're a tough team, and they'll be able to pull it out.
This game against Illinois will be at 3:00 on Sunday for the Huskers. Then, Nebraska has about 6 days off till they hit the road to go to Rutgers. That'll be an early tip-off. You're working Rink Mass back into the lineup more likely than not. We'll see about Frager. Kind of feels like maybe an empty the tank sort of game, right? You don't really get buys in the Big Ten, but this 6-day gap between games is going to be the longest break that Nebraska has the rest of the year. They'll go from Saturday, the 28th of, I guess there's not 28 days in February, so that's a short break. So, you have a 5-day break between games with UCLA and Iowa, the 3rd to the 8th. But this is essentially Nebraska's bye week, right? Yeah. Empty the tank on Sunday, play your best game, have a good feeling till Friday when you get on the plane, presumably to go out to Rutgers and Piscataway, because then the grind starts again. Rutgers, Purdue, and Northwestern, all in the span of 7 days.
Yeah, and it's great. Obviously, Nebraska, you empty the tank, and you're going to come in and say you don't want to rest on your laurels from the last time that you played up there, and then you get a little bit of a break, but then you don't want to get happy and soft, right? And that means the patting on the back and eating cupcakes and ice cream, everybody telling you how good you are. Then you go out there to Piscataway, and then you're in a full-fledged dogfight with a team you should walk the dog on. So.
Michigan State found that out the hard way.
Right. And you
survived, but
mindset right now is the most important thing because that controls the outcome.
Yeah.
And it's just routine, staying in the moment, one day at a time. Fred and them do a good job on that. And so Sunday be no different than anything else that we've seen all season.
We did not have Whiteboard Wednesday. We also skipped out on White Boy Wednesday. So I get creative here, Jay.
Okay, what do you
I
got?
have to make sure I articulate this very clearly. Fair Skinned Friday.
All right.
My former Duke Blue Devils put on
Or you
a
could do
show.
You could do
in
Pale
Dallas,
People Production.
Or that. We'll come up with the official name when we get back to Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Every winter, I struggle with feeling sluggish and down. I've read about the benefits of red light systems, but trying the Spectrum 7 at MaxTan has become my bright spot. A few sessions of full body red light, and I'm more energized and centered. It's my go-to winter boost, MaxTan.
At Anderson Ford, we have commission-free guides who are paid to give you a great experience, not make a sale, so you can choose the best vehicle for you. Right now at Anderson Ford, lease a 2025 Ford Escape for $222 per month. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 4003618. Lease for $222 per month for 36 months with approved credit. 7,500 miles per year. 5,000 plus first payment due at signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Plus take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 2226.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Don't wait. The clock is ticking at Landmark Implement's annual inventory reduction sale. For a limited time, get special financing as low as 1.9% for 12 months, then 6.2% interest for 48 months on select equipment. No auction, no waiting, just inventory price to move. Once it's gone, it's gone. Visit Landmark Implement or shop online at landmarkimp.com. Then click on the featured used equipment and experience the Landmark difference. Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and wow, what a year it was at Koppel. The Koppel family would like to say thank you for a record-setting sales year in 2025. Now let's start 2026 off with a bang. New GMC Sierra pickups starting at $12,500 off list or 0% APR. Also hot off the presses, new Terrain leases at $299 per month. That's right, $299 per month on new GMC Terrain leases. So please stop on in the store or online at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G138852 and G165184. 2,500 down with proof credit.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
right, welcome back in. It is Old School, brought to you by Graham Tire Companies, proudly celebrating 75 years of serving the Midwest. I'm Austin. He is Jay. This is Fair Skinned Friday, or what, the Pale People Productions Friday?
Yeah, I guess. I'm just going off what you had, man. I didn't know that we were doing that, but I'm good with it.
That's what we're doing. Got Super Bowl square to give away with it. So Cooper Flagg became the first teenager to drop 40 and 10 in a game. But before Cooper Flagg, who was the most recent NBA rookie to drop 40 points and 10 or more rebounds in a game? Before Cooper Flagg, who was the most recent NBA rookie to drop 40 points and 10 rebounds in a game? 402-464-5685. First two people in with the correct answer to that question will earn a Super Bowl square. Yeah, Jay, that one hit me. I didn't get a chance to watch nearly enough of that one last night. My two guys,
man,
my boys,
crazy.
Coop
I
and
thought it
Con
was
going at it.
I didn't think it was real, but obviously it was. But man, that's pretty awesome, and that's obviously guys know each other, and I think Knipple has kind of surprised me the most. Obviously, I thought he was a really good player, and he admits he's not the most athletic, but he is crazy efficient. And obviously, I don't know if you've seen his brothers. He's got two younger brothers and a cousin up there just destroying people.
In what state?
In Wisconsin.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, and so
I apologize.
It was pretty cool to see them, and you see Cooper Flagg, and he's gonna only grow into his body, and his shots getting better. He's getting stronger. I mean, he's just coming into his own. It's pretty cool to see, because he has a good head on his shoulder. He's kind of been in the limelight probably since he's been in obviously 10th grade. When he burst on the scene down there at Peach Jam, and then obviously he's kind of continued to level up, and he's the perfect, I guess, size. And I mean, it's kind of like, he's not like LeBron, but he is in the size wise, where he's athletic enough and get out in the break, but then also he's been coached well enough he can like score without the basketball. And then once he gets hot, and he's looking over at his buddies, and I think were they playing at Charlotte?
No, it was in Dallas.
In Dallas, they're like, yeah, you remember when we went at each other the first day when we were at Duke practice? I owe you a little something. So they really went at it. It was pretty cool to see.
123-121. Charlotte prevails in Dallas. Don't forget, we are still looking for the correct answer here. Triple H's dad is incorrect. The answer is not Chet Holmgren, who is the most recent rookie before Cooper Flagg to drop 40 points or 10 rebounds, or 40 points and 10 rebounds or more in a single game. It's been a while. That'll be the first hint that I give you. But yeah, Jay, 49 points for Cooper Flagg, a new rookie record, I believe. Certainly for a teenage record. He had 42, a month or so ago, and he just went out and one-upped it. And the funniest, I think, two moments of that game, watching back the highlights that I could. Number one was Eric Collins, the Hornets radio announcer, has a reputation for being a little exuberant, certainly enjoying himself. And Charlotte's up 121-118. Dallas inbounds it to Flagg, and Eric Collins says, let him shoot the three. That's all right. He gets it, like full Gus Johnson, which is absolutely incredible. He also did that on the poster dunk that the Coop had on Moussa Diabate. But then this is where we can maybe have the clutch conversation. Cooper Flagg has scored a lot of clutch points. I mean, he just hit the three a possession before for Dallas, but little familiarity maybe kicked in at the end, because Knipple sends kind of a late blitz to double team Flagg, get the ball out of his hands on what should have been the last possession of the game. Flagg didn't make a perfect pass. Knipple got just enough of a hand on it, sending former Duke teammate Sion James careening out of bounds to save the ball right to Knipple, who draws a foul on Flagg, hits both free throws to go ahead.
Free throws with him.
Oh, dude is automatic.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of that Duke scouting report going on right there. Know your enemy better than your friends, right?
I think obviously, learning the NBA game and learning the angles of when you can score, obviously, is a big adjustment for anybody, right? That's just natural. I think the biggest thing that Cooper Flagg probably, needs to get better at is probably, ball handling or passing. And that's just something, because you're always the receiver.
I would say live ball passing, right? He's a pretty darn good passer. He makes the right read, but actually with a live dribble initiator.
And understanding, I needed to pass it to this person because this is what he does well. This is what this defense's coverage is to, and that's, everybody had to learn it.
The dude's 19.
Yeah, Shaq learned it was passing out of a double team, when to kind of fake it out of a double team, and then you get into your one-on-one game. That's just where he's at, and it's also just it's a compliment, and it's a byproduct of how good of a player he is, because majority of his basketball life he's been the receiver.
Yeah.
And the passes that he's had to pass is generally from A to B. That's real quick because it's usually your guy coming to double team to force a pass, but then he's getting it right back.
Right.
So him playing more of a top down game and a side down game is just an adjustment, and he'll get better at it. And and Knipples had to play that type of game already
his whole life.
So that's just the difference of your upbringing and your basketball life. But it was really good to see those two really go at it, and obviously showing that the league is and the Duke team obviously it was really, really good. But those guys are going to be pretty special.
We got to 9079 with the correct answer. Need one more person before Cooper flagged the most recent rookie with 40 points and 10 or more rebounds in a single game. Some incorrect guesses: Chet Holmgren, Blake Griffin, LeBron James, and Victor Wembanyama. So 9079, you are in with a Super Bowl square. We are looking for one more answer. Elsewhere in Fair-Skinned Friday, if you will, Jay, the Twins let go of their general manager. And in the American League Central, Bobby Witt Jr. named the #1 shortstop in baseball for the year, according to Major League Baseball's network and everything that they put together there. I think that's well overdue. I just think it's interesting for a guy like Bobby Witt, who finished third in the American League or maybe in baseball and wins above replacement last year, to not be top 3 in American League MVP voting a year after having a historic season, losing out to Aaron Judge, who had a historic in maybe a slightly different way sort of season. As a Royals fan, of course, I'm going to be biased toward Bobby Witt Jr. But the fact that he wasn't the #1 shortstop in baseball entering last season behind Gunnar Henderson of formerly your Baltimore Orioles always kind of stood out to me. But man, there's just something I think about that American League Central, and I think you can even say this right now in the AFC South. If you try a little bit, you have 1 or 2 superstar players, you got a chance to win that division every year. Just don't trip over your own feet.
Yeah, I mean, look, Bobby Witt Jr., obviously, remember when he was up there with the Storm Chasers for a little bit. I talked about a kid named Ian that I love, Coach. That's like one of his favorite. I think it is his favorite player. And obviously, he's been everything that's been advertised. And so the Royals obviously are the closest team, and obviously have a big fan base. So it's really good to see him continue to progress. Because very easily, when you come in with his type of fanfare, and obviously he has some instant production, you could be thinking like, okay, what am I going to go to the Dodgers or the Braves or something like that? Seems like he's pretty humble, going to stay there. So that's really, really good. So to add on to, was it Fair Skin Friday?
Let's go with that. Let's do it.
Yeah. Joe Flacco, give him his credit.
What happened with Joe Flacco? I missed this.
In 18 years, and he's had some pretty productive years. He got voted to the Pro Bowl.
How about Joe Flacco?
Yeah. He started out as the Cleveland Browns starter, got benched because
perseverance, baby.
Because they wanted to play Dylan Gabriel. He got traded. Remember when he got traded, Mike Tomlin was like, why would you trade in the division? Cleveland's going to Cleveland. He goes to Cincinnati, lights it up for a few games. Remember he had Jamar Chase had 20 catches. And he's been very productive. He got, obviously, guys have opted out, and Bo Nix is hurt and so forth and so on. The Cleveland Browns have 2 Pro Bowl quarterbacks. That's what Kevin.
Have they had 2 Pro Bowl quarterbacks in their entire franchise history before
not
this year?
Just like Bernie Kosar, you know what I mean? But look, Kevin Stefanski, you say, look, man, hey, I Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins, I'll get both of you guys to the Pro Bowl. Now I don't know how I'm gonna get you there, but
you'll get there.
If I can do it in Cleveland, I sure as heck could do it in Atlanta. But big shout out to Joe Flacco, man, 18 years, good. I mean, the sacrifice he talked about, that he had to leave his wife and kids. He was on a 1-year deal to go to Cleveland. Goes to Cincinnati. Remember the story or the press conference where he was talking about when he's with when he was younger in his career and he'd see an older guy eating by himself. Now he's like, man, this is actually pretty cool. Because obviously he's on his own. And so big shout out to him, man. It's obviously a big thing for him. No matter how you get to the Pro Bowl and get voted in, whether it's early or late, it is an honor.
Is it it kind of is about how you get there, though, right? Like a Pro Bowl is a Pro Bowl, but like in 15 years we won't know. But for the next 5 years, we are going to look back and laugh. The 2 Pro Bowl quarterbacks from the AFC,
but
we're from Cleveland.
In 15 years, you ain't going to care.
That's what I'm saying. The 5 years it's going to be funny. 15, I made a Pro Bowl.
That's fine.
Pro Bowl's a Pro Bowl.
I got stuck at first alternate, and I still wear that with a badge of honor. Now it's different because they actually played the Pro Bowl back then. Right. Now you get to go down there. I would have rather go now. You just go down there and chill.
Why don't I just buy my own ticket out there?
Right.
I'm an NFL guy. You'll let me in the door and I can compete just for kicks.
I'm here for just let me in there, get a couple of swag and stuff. But look, man, I think for him is long overdue.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
What if we combined the Elite 11 with the NFL Pro Bowl? Had the top high schoolers compete in some of the same challenges, just as like a 1-to-1 comparison.
Yeah, but then it's like,
I know it's not going to go the NFL way.
Those little young punks love them drills. They love those drills. They've been doing those drills.
That's all the Pro Bowl things are. So
yeah, but they've been doing them all. Yeah, but the problem is then you're gonna be like, man, this dude in 10th grade is better passer than the guy we're playing 10 million. You don't want to set yourself up for that. You do not want to play.
Okay, fine.
Football,
Manning Passing Academy and
flag football against those pro flag football guys.
Oh boy,
that the Olympic guys,
right?
Because they'll give you some work. So
they will tell you about
it'd be pretty cool to maybe have some tutelage under those guys. Kind of give a look see, potentially where they could go in college. The competition, you don't want them to do that.
No.
Yeah, because those young dudes they got too much little testosterone going on.
Too good at the drills. That's all they practice.
And the pro guys, none of those guys have been working out.
Right.
They're just to be chilling down there they're having a good time and they deserve it. That's what you get. I wish they would play football. It's a little bit more competitive, but obviously like the NBA All-Star game, they're definitely trying to protect themselves.
Texter 1243 is in with the second correct answer. His airness, MJ, Michael Jordan.
That was easy.
The most recent, before Cooper Flagg, to have 40 points and 10 rebounds in a game as a rookie. Cooper Flagg, the first to do it as a teen, but Michael Jordan, the previous most recent rookie to do it. So pretty good company.
Have you ever watched Jordan back like when he first came in the league?
I mean, bits and pieces, not like sat down and studied it or anything.
I watched a couple. Man, he was moving different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I translated.
No, I mean, you talking about getting in his bag. He just was doing simple stuff. In and out dribble, couple dribbles, just pull up, bang. Oh, pump fake, one dribble, house call. Oh, you get me on the break, hammer time. You pull up three, take it with
eyeball Sanders.
Oh yeah. They were not ready for that. He must have been under so strict under North Carolina that, you know what I'm saying?
That's the guy played in a national championship game, right?
But it wasn't. He didn't have no freedom. Like he got to the NBA, it was like, oh, you went out last night. I'm chilling. 40. It was crazy.
You went out last night. I went golfing. 50.
Yeah, and it was like, it was like when young LeBron, how fast he would. I mean, when he was running that 4-3, 4-4. I mean, they just couldn't handle him.
Those young LeBron highlight me. I think back to the 25 out of 27 or 27 out of 29 he scored against Detroit. What was that?
Yeah, and then when they lost in the AAU championship and they came back the next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was moving different. Yeah, yeah.
Let's move different into this break. Wrap up hour 2 in just a sec.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Don't wait. The clock is ticking at Landmark Implement's annual inventory reduction sale. For a limited time, get special financing as low as 1.9% for 12 months, then 6.2% interest for 48 months on select equipment. No auction, no waiting, just inventory price to move. Once it's gone, it's gone. Visit Landmark Implement or shop online at landmarkimp.com. Then click on the featured used equipment and experience the Landmark difference.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Tired of your furnace running overtime this winter? Let Heartland of Nebraska Windows save the day. Upgrade to stunning, energy-saving triple-pane vinyl windows installed by their team of experts. Every window comes with a lifetime warranty on everything, all for a price you can actually afford. Free estimates, flawless replacements, and peace of mind from a family-owned business you can trust. Don't wait. Call Heartland of Nebraska Windows at 402-430-3852 or visit heartlandofnebraskawindows.com today.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
At DWE Generations, having a plan matters, especially when it comes to protecting what's most important. They work with individuals, families, and business owners to help make smart financial decisions that support life today and set the foundation for generations. David Darlington, Russell Walton, and Cody Eiler bring decades of experience, and their dedicated team provides follow-through, answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Just got the brakes fixed on my car today.
You did? You haven't even left the office.
I didn't need to. I got a guy who picks up my car and drops it off when it's done.
Well, who's your guy?
Graham Tire. They have pickup and delivery service at all 5 of their Lincoln locations.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is Old School. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you again for Old School, brought to you by Graham Tire and Auto. Big thanks to Love Volleyball Nebraska for their sponsorship here of our final segment. Get your tickets today online, lovbneb.com. A couple former Huskers, Lexi Rodriguez and Jordan Larson, in action for Love Volleyball Nebraska. Some exciting news coming soon, so stay tuned on Love Volleyball Nebraska's socials. Get your tickets to be a part of something pretty special coming up here in the very near future. Breaking news out of the NFL, Jay. The Seattle Seahawks will go up for sale after Super Bowl 60. That's what a league source is familiar with the arrangement tell ESPN, ending years of questions about when the team would seek new ownership following the 2018 death of former owner Paul G. Allen. Sale discussions have taken place at ownership and league levels for at least the past week, and there are rumors, Jay. Seahawks could go for $7 or $8 billion.
Who do you think would be? Who do you think it'd be?
I mean, are you in Steve Ballmer territory up there to invest with the Clips?
No.
Who do you think?
I would say Bill Gates, but no, because he just got.
Does Bill Gates care enough about football to do that?
No, that's what I was just about to say.
Yeah. Not the Trailblazers family.
No.
I mean, they're trying to sell off that. It's $7 to $8 billion.
Yeah.
This is our first Saudi-owned NFL team.
Well, you know what? I would normally say no, but right now anything's on the table. I just want it'd probably be some tech guy from
Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, somebody
Sam
over there.
Bankman-Fried.
Somebody that started some sort of app or something, and they want to do it. I mean, the league's going to be very careful who's the owner because we've obviously hit or miss.
There's some other news from the NFL ownership ranks also released today that we do not need to touch on there.
That's a tough day, man.
Yeah, no comment from the Seahawks yet. Of course, there was a statement that they would eventually end up being sold, but it is apparently now on the table for the Seattle Seahawks, who look like they will be put up for sale. First time in the Super Bowl era that a team that played in the championship game would get put on the market shortly afterward. Back in February of 91, the Tisch family purchased 50% of the New York Giants, but not the.
Is it worth 50%?
Is it worth 50%, Jay?
Hey, there's no time like to sell than when you're at your apex right now. So we got special guests coming in. Hold on. I could have put you right there.
You take mic 5 then for me here, Jay. Yeah, just take these 3 right here. Keep it simple. How about that? It's Elena from the Upside. Elena, welcome in. How are you? Yeah, it's just us. You shouldn't need them too bad. So
you got to be a special guest. You get Austin kicked me out of my favorite seat.
It is Jay's favorite seat.
Yeah, it's only warm from body heat, not from any other body heat. But appreciate you coming in. Obviously, we got a big UFC event again this weekend, and you delivered on your promise. Well, at least delivered on your promise that you're bringing in goodies. I will tell you, it's one of our favorite days. We get actually Thursday and Friday, or Thursdays usually we have Thursday, but when you come in on Fridays, it's always fantastic. Start the weekend off. UFC 325. It's an afternoon. They start their prelims, right?
It seems like they start a little bit earlier, but I mean, I think
the main fight would be
last weekend. It was the same kind of ending time frame and start of like the main.
Yeah.
So, two in a row, 2 weekends in a row.
Yeah, I know it's about to start getting that time, and we'll see if DP will try to trick you, or not try to trick you, or to negotiate some WWF events, because he's a big WWF guy, and they got WrestleMania and stuff like that this weekend as well, or at least in the near future. I know it's wintertime. I know you guys have karaoke tonight, right?
No, not. We had it last week.
Last week?
We do about every other Friday.
Friday.
If in and out, like just check Facebook or our website, and I always have it. So.
But Valentine's Day is coming up. Do you have any events for that?
Yeah. This is actually the drinks are from the Valentine's.
That's why I asked. I saw it. I could read the room a little bit.
So the chocolatey one is the Flirtini.
Oh, okay. What's in this?
That one's got like kind of chocolatey, like
smells
Bailey's, vanilla vodka. It's all liquor, so be careful. It's a martini drink, so it's.
So you're saying Austin needs to get the dump button ready for later on today, right?
Yeah,
it is good.
That's a good one.
I like the chocolates there, but it's not overpowering.
Yeah,
I was a little concerned. Like I see the chocolate running down, but that's just like the perfect amount of chocolate.
It's kind of more for decoration too.
Nice.
And it does come with a chocolate covered strawberry. It's just I didn't have time to get all the ingredients together because we're rolling it out on Monday. It was either bring you the old winter drinks that we're phasing out.
Or we're
bring you the new
previewing.
ones. Yeah,
so we're here for preview.
It's not even here yet.
Yeah, we'll have to send you the clip so you can put it on your Facebook. We're previewing. This is a 9 out of 10 for me.
Do people get to do their own like fondue chocolate strawberries to put in their drink? You do it for them.
We do it for them. Yeah, that's too messy, especially after maybe 1 or 2 of them. It'd be even messier. So,
fair
enough. And then the pink one is the raspberry romance. So it's a take on a mojito. It will have fresh raspberries in it when we get all the ingredients and stuff in a mint leaf. So
I like this.
Yeah, it's basically a raspberry mojito.
I feel like I'm back in Cancun in August right now. This is incredible.
Yeah, so we have a little fun with it. I didn't make it as big as our Christmas menu just because I overdo it on Christmas, and then we got St. Patrick's coming up. We do our pop-up bar for St. Patrick's Day, so it'll be a whole food and drink menu that we do for that. So Valentine's Day, just a little blip of it. So and we do have a Valentine's Day karaoke. We got Valentine's Day music bingo. So we actually have a bartender thing we're running right now.
That's right. You did that last year, right?
Yep. So we did 2 different age ranges. Now we're doing 25 to 35 and 35 to 50. The kind of older group, kind of a wider range with ages that you would date. So We got a lot of.
Was it like a speed dating thing?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you get 5 minutes with everybody. A lot of people are nervous. I've just said I participated last year. I will not be doing it this year, but I participated last year. It was fun. We put little things in front of you that give you some ideas on topics to talk about. Tic-tac-toe, just different things to like do if you're like not really sure what to talk about. So
that would be me, by the way.
We got snacks. It's $20. It includes your first drink. And snacks, and just it's a really good. It's fun, and Hannah MCs it, and so she makes it fun, lively, and so.
And a chance to meet your soulmate all for $20.
I know, right?
Come on, get some drinks.
You never
get some
know.
food.
And good, and you're gonna have good drinks. These are both really good. Big weekend, obviously with UFC. Run us down what you have going on. Obviously tonight, no karaoke. Just is it a regular night tonight?
Just a regular night. So just
regular night.
Enjoy some drinks, some Keno, darts. We should get busy. So
yeah, it's the wintertime. It's a good vibe. I always tell people when you guys first open, I really like everything is just like kind of perfect the way you have it spaced out in there. And obviously it's good food, good vibe. And then obviously UFC's tomorrow. Doors open at 1. Go to 2, right?
Yep.
And then a big crowd probably, even though Nebraska's having a home basketball game, you got Nebraska basketball on Sunday. And you guys open
at 1
on Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah, time to go watch the game at the Upside.
Yeah. Exactly.
Get there
or celebrate
early.
after.
Yeah, I know. I have a couple friends that go out there for UFC that you got to get there early. And so if you got to I don't know if you ever been to Vegas during March Madness.
Yes,
have you?
I have actually.
So if you go to like watch at like a sports book, you got to kind of rotate from like 6 in the morning who can get the table.
Yep.
So if you're going out to UFC and you want to make sure you have your spot, make sure you have a good rotation to make sure you have your seating arrangement because it's going to be a packed house.
A lot of people kind of were wondering what would happen now that it's moved to Peacock or whatever. People can watch it for free at home or whatever. So last week we were just as busy, if not busier. I think people still want the atmosphere. They still want to hang out with friends and so it was, and we don't charge a cover. So we had a really, really good crowd last week. I think we'll have an even bigger one this week.
Is it the atmosphere and the people that makes owning a bar so fun?
I love it. Yeah. The people are great. Now, every once in a while, but it's kind of funny. I get a lot of respect. With people kind of start to act up, I will get apologies left and right. Like, I'm so sorry, Elena. Like, or the bartender's like, do you want me to call Elena? Like,
no.
So everybody's really good. Just, you get some alcohol and some testosterone going, but everybody,
that's never led to anything bad, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
Especially with the UFC fights, like everybody thinks that they can be a professional, right?
Yeah. They get all like pumped up, but no, I think in the 5 years we've been doing it, I've had to pick out 2 people on the UFC fight night. So that were just getting a little rowdy before anything happened. So that sounds pretty good.
I say so.
For a packed bar. Yeah.
Right. You're on a tight ship.
Yes.
Well done.
Oh yeah. They know that.
Anything, I know you guys always have a good menu for nights like Saturday night or even like Nebraska home games. What's kind of on the menu or what's your feature? Anything new?
Our wings have been doing really well. I think people are realizing that we have them. They're air fried, so they take a little bit longer to make. Can't just fry them up as fast. But yeah, we've been going through a lot of wings lately. We just have a couple flavors. Like I said, we're kind of limited, but they're good. Good quality.
Simple
and
consistent.
Crispy. Kind of charred like from the air fryer. So that and our flatbreads have been really popular. I just got a new oven thing that's kind of like Starbucks where it's like fast cook, so I can cook a pizza in like 2 minutes. So once I get the electrical work done for that, well, we might be revamping the menu a little bit too. So
you're not just plugging that into the wall?
Yeah, unfortunately that plug doesn't go in.
It takes a little while. You got to get it seasoned or whatever, so you know how to use it. But that's great. Once again, it's UFC 325. Doors open at 1 on Saturday and Sunday. UFC Saturday, and then obviously all day Saturday, and then Nebraska basketball at 3. But get there early because the atmosphere and vibe is going to be good on Saturday and Sunday, along with the great service and people. And I will tell you, I can't speak for Austin, but I can tell you the drinks are popping.
Awesome.
No, we gotta pace ourselves. I gotta get a water here. I didn't expect to be a little tipsy on a Friday, so I got to make sure I stay in tune. But
locked in, Jay. Another hour. Come on.
Well, you know what it is? It is. I think the last time you guys were kind of busy, weren't able to bring some, and then you said, we're going to double up and make sure.
I bet you're the strongest one.
Yeah, we're gonna show them right. Yeah, because this one right here, what's this called?
The Flirtini.
The Flirtini has pretty good amount of alcohol in it, right? Yeah.
It's all booze.
We love it. Elena, thanks as always. Good to see you.
Thank you.
That's the Upside Bar and Lounge. Elena with us. We'll be back more Old School after this.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At DWE Generations, having a plan matters, especially when it comes to protecting what's most important. They work with individuals, families, and business owners to help make smart financial decisions that support life today and set the foundation for generations. David Darlington, Russell Walton, and Cody Eiler bring decades of experience, and their dedicated team provides follow-through, answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody.
Just got the brakes fixed on my car today.
You did? You haven't even left the office.
I didn't need to. I got a guy who picks up my car and drops it off when it's done.
Who's your guy?
Graham Tire. They have pickup and delivery service at all 5 of their Lincoln locations.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
This ain't pop. This ain't pretty. This is Southern hospitality. The Black Crows. Blues-soaked guitars, outlaw swagger. The Southern Hospitality Tour. Rock and roll the way it was meant to be. Loud, raw, and real. The Black Crows. With South Hall, August 4th. Pinewood Bowl Theater and Lincoln's Pioneers Park. Tickets on sale Friday, February 6th at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
You started your business to build something special. Now it's time to grow and protect it. At Pinnacle Bank, our treasury management services help you do just that. Through smarter payment technology, account administration, and fraud protection. So no matter the size of your business, you can get the most out of your financial operations. Request your free consultation at pinbank.com/consult. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more. Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Coy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Hour 3, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School, coming at you live, 1040 O Street. Once again, we're brought to you by Graham Tire. Appreciate all the support. Appreciate you guys supporting and listening to us. Appreciate you guys participating this week. Like you do every week, but on the text line, obviously we have some, some hot topics we're going to continue along today. We'll give a shout out to Upside Bar and Elena coming in, bringing the making up. Even though they always come in with great drinks and sometimes some new menu items. So we appreciate them coming in. Appreciate them supporting us, but then also Upside being a great place for people to go watch games, UFC fights, and obviously good vibes. They have everything underneath the sun, from karaoke. They have bartender night. I didn't even know about that, so I was kind of, the third wheel on that one. That's actually during a Valentine's Day, so it's speed dating out there if you want to go out there and have some drinks and meet some new people, so forth and so on.
And like you heard her say, it's not a rowdy crowd. It's going to be fine, upstanding people. So if you're scared to put yourself out there, the Upside's going to be the place to do it, right? Tame, under control environment.
Yeah. I mean, I've only been out there from when they worked out or not worked out, but when they first opened. I like going into places and seeing, I don't really go out much, but the vibe and how things are situated, the service and the food.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I can definitely vouch for it. So appreciate her coming out and, I got UFC 325 is going to be a big one. So we get there early, and then obviously you have Nebraska basketball, which is obviously a great atmosphere to watch a game as well. So now on to Hour 3. Yesterday we talked about the article where coaches are retiring at an early age from coaching youth sports all the way up. That means they're stopping at the high school age. It's unfortunate. Obviously we weren't able to get some text in, so. We got a text here. So, yeah, you see me at Big Red Kino. Yeah, I eat at Big Red Kino. I eat the same thing. I'm probably in and out of there in 15 minutes.
It's the last part. I was too scared to come say hi.
Oh.
Keep it that way.
No. I mean,
Jay's tough. It took me a while to finally crack through the exterior. So you got to really get to know
everybody
Jay.
said that, man. Everybody said that, man. I always been this way. I'm chill, and everybody's like, "Why ain't you smiling?" I was like, "Ain't nothing funny." You know what I'm saying? And I always want to ask people, like, I'll never see anybody walking around smiling. I'll say, "What's up?" I'll give you the universal, but look, you just come up and say, "What's up?" I have no problem with it, man. I mean, I learned at an early age with my dad. He was always gracious to people, and I do the same. So I, don't ever hesitate to say what's popping, or come say hello.
Unless you're checking out the meat in the butcher section, then you're on a mission. You're on a mission.
I will tell you, if I'm on the grill or something, or I'm eating some red meat, probably just wait till I get done. But otherwise, I'm pretty good. But look, we'll dive into a little bit of NFL probably in the second or third segment. But go along yesterday. It's we had a few texters in talking about Millard South and the quarterback that's going to be there and any of the receivers. It's unfortunate for them because they had a pretty good freshman that was backing up Jet Tamala that looked like he was going to be pretty good. So how the coach up there is going to handle it is he's got to do his job. Because obviously Trey Taylor's only going to be there for a short time. You're trying to build a program. You're not going to be. I doubt you're going to get every Nebraska quarterback to continue to go through there. There's so many angles that comes off of that because it's a call to arms for. I don't even know if you want to say LPS, but just the Lincoln vibe of coaching and everything to, which they have to continue to grow. And then you say, okay, well, is this on a yearly basis? No, because I only think if in a recruiting class, there's only going to be 2 or 3 guys that are going to be able to take advantage of being compensated in high school, and hopefully they're from Nebraska guys that we saw, or heard Ryan Held that wants to recruit more Nebraska kids, and so. I think it's one of those things. It's part of fortunately, and unfortunately, it's a part of high school sports. Now on to, basketball is a little bit different. I think is because it's harder to get enough kids out there to play football. Basketball, you have a lot more players. I think the vibe in Lincoln this year is pretty competitive at the high school level. It's a byproduct of having some good classes and guys that have played against the Metro guys and had some pretty good success. And so you're seeing it now on the high school level. I think it's I don't know all the inner workings of the restrictions that some of the coaches face, whether it's support or just too much red tape. I only know when I went to high school and both of the main sports I played, which was basketball and football. Both of them were programs from the very beginning.
Programs, not teams.
Programs. Because, it's from 4th grade on up. Everybody's going to be involved. High school coach is going to be involved with every youth coach. There's a standard of excellence, even when we were working our way up, but it took off like gangbusters in Eden Prairie. I think that we went to state and, both years. And obviously they've been nationally ranked. They've got guys that, like myself that made pros and everybody else that, continue to do it and, at major D1 every single year. I will tell you this, kind of like Millard South, a lot of the Vikings coaches' sons went there. And, just because, it's in the same city as the facility, but it became the place where guys would for whatever reason would transfer in, they would be going to Eden Prairie. So I think the work that was put in made it more appealing to kids that, would come in. And that's the same, example of Millard South. So, the coaching stuff as far as like, I was just talking about this, coming up the radio. It's like, here's what's the hard part. You could talk about the parents, and the parents kind of come into it. The kids as well, too, right? Because say like you're coaching a couple kids, and say they get looked over by any other program. And this is kind of like a transfer portal in college, right? This is where like an FCS, right?
Yeah.
So when you start your own program, if there's bigger programs, you're like an FCS because is quite naturally the bigger programs are going to get majority. You're just going to go because it's easier because drop your kids off,
set them in,
and then. But now when you on an FCS, it's kind of more mom and pops, right? So the frustrating part is you could build a kid up along the way, and then as soon as they get a taste or get a little attention from the other programs, they'll leave. That's no different than college. So as much as, you're talking about youth coaches not coaching anymore, you had the Kansas State coach quit. You had the Virginia basketball coach quit, right? And then the Kansas State football coach quit because of the transfer. Nick Saban, one of the reasons was because of that. You'll see more coaches dip out of it.
Well, even in basketball, Boeheim, Williams, Kay, potentially Jay Wright and Tony Bennett, all along that same line.
Right. So now they had soft landing plus because they got a nice little seat and a couple $1 million.
Right.
But, a lot of the coaches that coach club basketball, that's not their main source of income unless it's like a true like MoCan or whatever. And so, it's kind of comes from all areas. And I don't think it's ever going to change. It's unfortunate because I think some of the fondest memories of my youth, sports was, going with, I played with my best friend Jamal. I was able to play with Sam Jacobson in Khaled. I mean, I was able to play with guys that I was able to watch.
Mhm.
I mean, I was more hype about seeing Khaled Al-Amin win a national championship than anything else. I was like, I know that dude. And here I am, I'm playing.
For a national championship
right.
myself.
Or when I'm in the pros, I was
Yeah.
like, man, he's playing with the Bulls, and I'm keeping up with him. We had the same marketing agent, so it was like dang, dude, we were the same ones in a bus going to, Chicago to play. And then see Sam Jacobson play and all that. And so I was very fortunate about that. That's some of my fondest memories, to see guys play at that age. You just don't never know who you're going to play against or play with. And, sometimes if you don't have enough coaches that have the energy or feel like they have the loyalty from either the players and the parents, then it can kind of go to the wayside. And that's the unfortunate thing, because sports is a great, learning tool. Coaching is it's an honor. It's a lot of stress, but then you can have an impact on guys that, can hopefully last a long time. I mean, I still talk about Walt West. I mean, Walt West, Walt West was from like Brooklyn, New York. He was a teacher in Minneapolis. And so I just kind of was moving there. So it was like me, Jamal, Kenny, Leroy. And he was talking about, you guys, we all play football, but he's like, listen, you guys will be playing summer basketball. He's like, this is what you guys need to do. So he took us down to North Minneapolis, and we played like summer league down there, and he would drive us down there, and he would give us each, at that time, it would be $12 between all four of us. So we could get a pop, a little sandwich, and have enough money to call him, and he'd pick us up. He's like, you guys need to play on the blacktop. You guys need to get tougher. I mean, it was a war.
Yeah. Imagine.
It was hard. I mean, we got our butt kicked for first 2 weeks. Then we had to figure it out. We kind of did our own thing, and that's, he didn't have to do that, but he's part of coaching, and it's always kind of been in the back of my mind. And so, for the parents out there, I get it. It's competitive, and you pay a lot of money, and, I know refs can't be on their game. I'm not a big believer of the participation trophies or like that. I feel like I think you need to coach to win. Teaching them and demanding and holding them accountable, learn how to win. Same way, teaching them and helping them learn when unfortunately you don't win.
Mm-hmm.
Those are life lessons. And so that's what it's kind of sad that the report came out that it's dropped that much.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of kids out there with a lot of free time that aren't able to play sports.
And all the stuff we're talking about doesn't have to be in conflict.
No.
Just go out and play and try to win.
Right.
Those work together. It's just unfortunate that I think more and more, Jay, it feels like, anecdotally, that so many of these experiences are being locked behind a paywall, where we've put so much stock and so much prestige into, playing select travel club, whatever, which absolutely has its time and place. If you can make money off it, if you can provide a great experience for kids, if that's what you want to do, again, who am I to stop you? More power to you. Go do it. But I just wish that it didn't feel like that was the only way to get noticed or the only way to get experience, because I think sometimes, pretty much every, little boy at some point will dream of being a pro athlete, right? Especially if you grow up in and around sports, right? It'd be so cool to be on the field, bottom of the ninth, full count, bases loaded, teams down by a run. It all comes down to this, game winning drive on the line in football, or, game winning shot in basketball. You can practice in your driveway, whatever. Stuff like that needs to feel accessible.
Yeah.
I don't think it's healthy for sports when they get removed to an upper tier of either you can pay for it or you can't.
Yeah.
And I think that when we talk about investing in coaches and the type of people that we want around our youth, again, no knock to travel ball coaches in whatever sport, but there's a lot of value and a lot of beauty in coaching the local Y League team. Like the guy that we had say coach for 24 years, right?
Yeah.
Doubt it was his kids. Probably not coaching your kids in youth sports for 24 years.
Unless you got a lot of kids.
Right. Unless you're Phillip Rivers or something. And I didn't quite get that vibe there. So it's just unfortunate that it feels like you have to pay money to be competitive. Otherwise, you're in the participation trophy league, or you look down on if you're not in the travel ball league. And again, if you want to take it serious, that's probably the more likely way to do it. And that's fine. Again, if that's your path, that's your path. But I do think there is some beauty in the simplicity of play with my local Y League team, with my buddies that I grew up going to elementary school with, and maybe through middle school. And then, you know what, we all made, varsity as sophomores for the first time. It's cool. We're selling our journey, and maybe one of us gets noticed and we'll go to college in the next level, whatever it is. I just feel like that path gets overlooked quite a bit, right? Ending up at whatever level you end up at, and deservedly so. I mean, in some cases, not all the way deservedly so, but like it's cool to be in the pros, right? You would know, you've been around it your entire life. Like there's some prestige, deservedly so, for the people that have worked hard, that have made the choices and made that their life's path. It's just hard for, the 99.999 repeating percent that they don't make it in sports, and that's been their goal. Sometimes it's hard, when you pour all those resources in and you don't make it.
Yeah.
And what's your fallback plan? Oh, you didn't have one. Where a little bit of perspective, I think, would go a long way in youth sports, in remembering that it's going to be hard. Yeah. Hopefully it's worth it, but you could do everything right and still not make it through no fault of your own.
Yeah. And whatever you determine as making it has to be realistic. And then once you have those goals, you just got to continue to work towards that, because it's not going to be easy as you go up, even from 4th to 5th grade, 5th to 6th, and that's kind of your breaking point. Then then you see, but then you'll face some 6th graders that are the size of 8th graders, and then you got to be patient enough, knowing that you're going to grow or get your skills up enough to be able to compete with them. And then as you get to different levels, whether it's club, obviously, and when you get up to, middle school and high school, early high school ages, the commitment becomes higher. But if that's a goal to you to potentially get to the next level at any level, whether it's D3, NAIA 2, or 1, there does, I think where the youth really and the parents really miss the boat, there is responsibility with it. It takes a tremendous amount of sacrifice. And I would argue with you now, it takes more sacrifice now, because with the transfer portal and everything else, it squeezes high school players out or squeezes them down. And coaches don't have to recruit as much. They don't really have to go to like the open dates or the live dates and really, look in the back gym. So Ja Morant wouldn't have been noticed, because if I'm a Division II coach, I know the pool of Division I players that are going to be in the portal and need a place to play. And if I'm a good enough program, I know I'm going to have my email, box full of it. I know my scouting staff is going to be looking for guys that maybe fringe high level D1 that, are in the portal. Well, then you can come to D2 and find a good, or if you're going to mid-major or whatever.
Yeah.
So that it's a trickle-down effect. And then the game, the game is different, where you're at the little bit lower level schools, and, they're coming in and having, 20 freshmen and sophomores, and obviously that helps, pay for the seniors and all that. You got to really have the knowledge and have people, that you're ready to, so you can make the right decision. But I think the commitment level, as much as it is as a commitment for the kid, the parents and the families have to make sure the commitment is there, because you're gonna have to push the kids. There's very rarely an athlete that hasn't been pushed that's been successful. At some point in time, you got to be pushed. The outlier is like the Jordans or the Steph Currys and all that. But
just because they make it look easy doesn't mean it came easy.
And nothing's ever easy. And you're gonna face adversity. You're gonna face the time that where you're like, oh, do I want to continue to do this? Now, at that point, you just have to make a decision. Are you tough enough to answer the bell? And a lot of times that's where they see you at. They try to weed you out, and you got to be smart enough to understand it's just a part of the bigger picture. And that's what sports can provide you. You never know when you go to college who you will meet. Some of my best friends are guys that I met in the business school at the University of Nebraska that I talk to right now more on a regular basis than majority of my teammates, and that's, normal. But if I didn't come to Nebraska, if I didn't have the will to kind of fight through the times I wanted to, tap out, didn't. Now, that's a byproduct of youth. My high school coach was tough as nails. My basketball coach was tough as nails on us. I'm just straight up. He's down at Georgia Southern. It was not, our practices were no joke. And it was more mental training than anything. Because he wanted to make sure that you were tough-minded and that you were doing it for the right thing. So when you go off to go play sports, you draw back on him. Can I get through, Coach Tobin's practice? It was questionable at times.
At best?
At best, because you're looking over there and in the frustrations when you're kicking the locker. But at no point in time, you look back on that, I would want to feel comfortable that my actions as a player or my dad's as a parent. My dad was never around. I mean, he was at the games, but he never got involved. Would make a coach want to quit. And my dad was had a little obviously pretty famous, so he always wanted to just come back and come and watch the games and kind of be behind the scenes. So I was fortunate in that sense that I had the support. Didn't have a lot of rules, except for just play hard and be the best teammate you can be.
Which I get her rules, but those strike me more as standard.
Yeah, standard. Yeah, yeah, and don't disrespect the game.
Right. They got lots of standards.
Oh yeah. The only time he ever got after me one time, I was showboating one time, and I'd played pretty good or whatever, and so he kind of kept it smooth. He was like, after the game, he was like, "Oh, good game," I'm like, "Oh yeah," I'm high, doing everything, and thought I was the magic man, and we got in the car, and it was like, I'll never forget it. I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna listen to 89.9 KMOJ on the way home. This is like my victory lap."
Okay.
We went down and beat Minneapolis Washburn, gave them do some work, and I'm, acting like a fool. You're not even thinking of it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we got all like 494. He turned that thing down. He was like, "Who the F do you think you are?" And I was like, "What?"
What?
He's like, "You heard me." He's like, then he said it louder. And he's like, "Don't ever let me see you do that." Da 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 da. And he explained to me why though, and it had nothing to do with that game. He's like, "You never know who's watching." He's like, "You never show an opponent up." He's like, "I know you guys are been as they when we first started playing, they used to kick our butt, embarrass us. I know you were looking payback, but he's like, you always don't show up your opponent." He's like, "I don't care if you talk noise." He's like, "Just do it the right way." And it was about 15. But then I was mad at it first, but then I understood what he was saying. And
you never talk junk, you never cross the line with an opponent ever again in your life. End of story.
I did several times.
I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt, Jay. Come on. I'm trying to help you.
But
Come
I will
on.
tell you this, I always thought about that afterwards though. I will say this though, coaching youth sports, I think there's a lot of guys that do it for the right reason. But I'm gonna give everybody the benefit of the doubt. But I will tell you, some of the shadiest characters I ever came around. Some of these basketball coaches, I just don't understand it. They'll kind of like partner with you, steal your players. You have some parents that'll be mad, then they'll try to take all your players. It's a lot of pettiness and stuff. But then it's like, okay, well, what happens after your kids are done playing basketball and I see you? Then
what?
Then we ain't talking then.
No.
That's probably the most eye-opening part, and that's just part of the game, and so you just got to make sure that you just have to deal with it. One time we were playing, and this is just kind of like you have to be understanding if a tournament director is putting on a tournament and they're affiliated with a team, they're going to make sure that their teams win. You got to be aware of that, all that type of stuff. We got a good text here from 3203. He says you got to be careful because the toes you step on today might be connected to the butt that you got to kiss tomorrow, and that is true. And it's all about how you treat people. Everybody's able to be imperfect at sometimes. Nobody should be expected to be perfect. I'm by no means perfect, but I always try to treat people with the most amount of respect, and at least amount of respect they give me, and just move on from there. I think you get a good reputation, whether people are hating on you or not, they got to respect you. Yeah. And if they don't, then that's probably just a more energy into not respecting you. So I think it's just part of the game and part of youth sports, and sometimes the kids get into the crosshairs of it. The whole thing, if you're playing 14s, you got 16s playing down. We've dealt with all that. Mix and match in the rosters and make sure they win all the time. And, you want to win enough, you want to win. I want to win every game. Sometimes you meet opponents that are better than you. Sometimes you get coaches that are better than you. Sometimes you get kids, you go against a team that you got kids more invested and there's nothing you can do. And that's just part of it. But then, when you're winning enough, it definitely takes care of itself. But it's also, I think it's a lot of what Ryan Hale said. It's about the people, parents that makes the kids. You get some kids that'll play for you in the summer, but they more or less just trying to do their thing. So you got to make sure you got to coach around a lot. They got their own, they're playing. It's funny. These kids they're playing team sports, but they have their own plan. Like that doesn't work.
Operating individually and also thinking individually.
Yeah.
How that works.
You battle different stuff. I play football, I've walked by guys, there's a trainer around here. Oh, he's a football guy. I was like, dude, I'll just be looking at him like, I saw some of your high school tape. Dude, you wouldn't have went to play in Iceland if I played against you. I can promise you that. There's nothing that you would ever do in the basketball court that I couldn't do, but I just happened to play football.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball is a lot easier to coach because football is meant to be played one way. I don't think there's enough youth that want to play the way that
the game deserves.
Yeah. And it's just harder.
Is that being legislated out of the game with the rule changes?
Well, and I think just here it's different, because there's not any, Millard had, there's not any travel. There's not any middle school team. It's just different. I played middle school football.
Right.
So we grew up playing together. Playing against our rivals. So so they don't have that here. So it's a little bit different. I will tell you this before we go to break. I got asked if I would start coaching. I said I'd probably if I came back to coach like club, I think I'd only coach girls. I saw a girls team play. Now it wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing, but I can tell you what, they played hard as heck. They are fundamentally sound. Now, granted, you got to deal with some other stuff. Like I'm not. Like I probably have
other stuff. We can leave it at that.
But they're trying to play the game the right way.
Funny how far that goes.
Yeah, because I'll have Giovanni Mack on, who played at Indiana and stuff like that. He's a good friend of my man Pat Max that he coaches a big time program in Charlotte, and he coaches at a high school and stuff like that. So good because we'll start having people like that on, so you can kind of get their perspective, so forth and so on. So, anyways, we'll put a bow in that. We're gonna take a quick break. Come back. We're gonna talk about some NFL hirings. We're going to see we got some stuff going on with the Vikings. We won't touch on what's going on in New York. It'd be interesting to see what...
At least not on the red and blue side of New York.
But we got Cleveland has a new coach. He met Shedeur Sanders, what that all means. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Winter is just around the corner. Is your vehicle ready? Don't get left out in the cold. At A1 Automotive, we prep your car for whatever winter throws your way here in Nebraska. For battery checks, brake inspections, tires, heaters, whatever your car needs to keep you and your family safe on the road, we've got you covered. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and wow, what a year it was at Koppel. The Koppel family would like to say thank you for a record-setting sales year in 2025. Now let's start 2026 off with the bang. New GMC Sierra pickups starting at $12,500 off list or 0% APR. Also hot off the presses, new Terrain leases at $299 per month. That's right, $299 per month on new GMC Terrain leases. So please stop on in the store or online at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G13885 and G16518. 2,500 down with proof credit.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of January, because get an early start on it. Sit down. The snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. Let's put numbers together. Let's get a budget put together. And let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, second segment, 5 o'clock hour, Old School, 1040 O Street on this Friday, pushing towards the weekend. Good youth sports talk on a Friday. I will tell you the Hack Tournament, Heartland Athletic Conference Tournament Championship game is Saturday at 5 at Lincoln High. Southwest Silverhawks against the North Star Gators. Southwest is number 1 in the state, and I think North Star they have to be 3 or 4.
They're good.
Yeah, both two really good teams, 2 well-coached teams. They all know each other, so it's going to be pretty exciting to see. First of all, Lincoln basketball is on the map, and so if you get a chance to go, Lincoln High is I think it's got to be the oldest high school, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Big gym,
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool that Lincoln High is hosting it. Tip-off is at 5. I think that's the only game. I don't know. Yeah, it's the only game. So. Make sure you get there early.
Do you like it when tournaments like that have one home base or when they rotate around?
Well, it had been rotating.
I know,
around.
that's what I'm saying.
I like it when it rotates. All the high schools in Lincoln can handle it.
Yeah.
Now that I will tell you, the last 2 years, the hack is a lot later. So at this point, it used to be during Christmas break, which I kind of
Right.
liked a little bit better because it kind of keeps the kids playing.
Engaged. But they have
Well,
the moratorium and
Yeah, so they can keep playing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of gives you something to do, and then you can finish off the season. But they changed it and see how it works, and it seems like it's the second half, and we'll see how it goes this year. So now we'll jump to some NFL news. Obviously, before we came on air, the Vikings fired their GM, Mr. Mensah, came from Cleveland. His background in Cleveland was more of a money ball analytics approach to it. Kind of maybe the reason why they got rid of Baker Mayfield and all that. Obviously, piggybacking off of the progress and success when Baker Mayfield was there. And, been the Vikings GM for 4 years. I think the sticking point was, which now, since he's fired, I think his press conference yesterday was the icing on the cake. And they were asking him about Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones. And then once you're talking about two quarterbacks, Kevin O'Connell, the head coach, a quarterback by playing career, offensive coordinator, so forth and so on. Now the news is coming out that Kevin O'Connell originally didn't want to draft J.J. McCarthy. Mensah did. They drafted him. Kevin O'Connell wanted them to either franchise Sam Darnold or bring Daniel Jones back. Neither happened. He pushed for it. You saw the outcome with J.J. McCarthy. So one had to go, and it was the GM. He had been under fire because his last 4 drafts, the first-round picks are okay. Everything else, you don't have the 5th-round picks. You're not like the Houston Texans. If you looked at their last 4 drafts, they've hit on every single one. They've gotten starters, all their starters, and all their big rotational players out of their draft. And now look what they've been doing.
with some premium picks and some later picks.
Yeah, and so everything has been hitting. So then, obviously the GM gets let go. So the biggest question, Austin, is if I'm J.J. McCarthy, unlike now, considering what the new coach Brady said about Keon Coleman, if I'm J.J. McCarthy, I got to get up out of there. Because they tried to trade him to the Raiders last offseason. Tom Brady, you're from Michigan.
Yeah. Give me there.
Yeah. That's probably what Kevin O'Connell wanted. It didn't happen. But now that you have a coach that maybe was okay with drafting you, probably thought that you weren't ready. You probably weren't ready. You probably aren't ready. You're in the 3rd year of your career. You got to get
Because next year's the year, and then 5th year's the option, right? As a first rounder.
Yeah, but look, Kevin O'Connell. Kevin O'Connell has a little bit more foundation than JJ McCarthy.
A lot of bit more foundation.
So, what do the Vikings do? I mean, you got to hire a GM.
That's got to be the first order of business, right?
But if I'm JJ McCarthy,
my head coach has said he didn't want me.
Well, it's coming out. We're gonna have a conversation. What's up? Don't lie to me now. That's where Kevin O'Connell is gonna. You got to back him into a corner. Listen, I know what was said. It might not be 100% true. It's at least 60% true. I want to hear it from you so we can figure this out, because there's no point in JJ McCarthy to be there if he doesn't want him there, because it'll never work.
See Stefanski and Watson.
Right. JJ McCarthy has to get better. Kevin O'Connell has to figure out a way to get him better.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't want him or doesn't think he can get better next year, then he has to find a place to go. And, and this is not a deep quarterback class.
No, it is not.
And you're not picking high enough to the top to get him. And the free agency class, at best. We're going to get Malik Willis for a year.
And see, that's just the thing, though, is that you would think for the Vikings, you had it set up pretty well in drafting J.J. McCarthy, because you have, Mr. Organizations fail quarterbacks long before quarterbacks fail organizations, in Mr. Kevin O'Connell, a guy who's done some really good work with a bunch of different quarterbacks. And if you're Kevin O'Connell, I think, number one, understand that that's what you're good at. Maybe it's through that understanding of what he's good at that he says, I can't work with this guy. There's a reason I didn't want him. And, he just doesn't have everything that I need in a quarterback that I'm going to work with. On the flip side of that, it's, hey, dude, you could be the head coach of an NFL franchise. Sorry you didn't agree with it, but you've made your whole career of getting these quarterbacks better, right? Of coaching them and making them as productive as you possibly can. Here's your chance to do it again. It may be Kevin O'Connell. I don't know, man. Maybe it's, I've done this my whole career. I'm ready for, an easy button. I'm ready for a ready-made quarterback. I'm tired of having to be the guy that trains it. But to that point, even with, a Darnold or a Jones, he was doing some of that, but maybe to a lesser degree. Maybe he thought those guys were just a tweak or two away or a concept or two away from really getting it all put together. Whereas J.J. McCarthy, Jay, you would have thought coming from a Jim Harbaugh-led program, right? A guy that's also, maybe not put the flashiest quarterbacks in the league, but played the position himself.
Yeah, you thought he was more NFL ready. I think he played a little sped up this year. I think he showed some glimpses. I mean, when they were in Chicago, he showed the ability to come back. But being a big-time franchise quarterback, I think even coming out of college, there was, more meat on the bones until he got there. And what the funny thing is that when he got drafted, they felt like he was more pro-ready. And then they were actually thinking about starting him over Sam Darnold until he got hurt.
Yeah.
Well, then you got to think, how many guys did they pass over in the later rounds or could have made a trade for that actually been, further along in the process? And so if you don't have a quarterback that you either believe in or obviously made you believe in him and obviously productive, you don't have a chance to win in the NFL.
Yeah.
And unlike, for instance, Bryce Young, I don't think he has really good skill position guys around him. You have Justin Jefferson, you got Jones, you got Addison. You got Hawkinson as a tight end. Now the offensive line, which they drafted a first round pick last year for Jackson from Ohio State, and free agency big with Kelly and all those guys from Indianapolis. But the year before probably needs to play a little bit better. But now you're at the quarterback position with all these assets around it. That's where the frustration comes in. That's where you have Justin Jefferson in the, I call it the State of the Union address at the end of the season. And he pretty much said, I want JJ to be the quarterback as long as he gets better at the things that we need him to get better at. So he knows it.
Right.
Justin Jefferson struggled to get 1,000 yards. Usually by game 10, 9, maybe even 8, he's at 1,000.
Pushing for 2.
It was barely at, got at the last game of the season. So,
well, and Kevin O'Connell didn't go full Mike Zimmer and Kellen Mond.
No.
Right. Why do you want to see Mond? I see him every day. He at least didn't go that far.
No, that's career breaking.
But that's just the thing. This could be career breaking for J.J. McCarthy. If a top NFL whisperer in the NFL doesn't want to work with you, someone's going to take a chance on you, but will it be the same? What does that do for your confidence? The coach that you thought was going to be the one to help you take that next step in your career. And sure, guys have second chances, in the NFL, but man, I'd be a little shook.
I'd be, like I said, if I don't know where JJ McCarthy, I think he's from Indiana originally, right?
Something like that.
Indiana,
IMG guy, though, right?
Yeah. Wherever your off-season house is, if it's not in Minnesota, I'm right up in the Minnesota coach's office.
He is from Evanston.
Yeah.
Northwestern guy.
So I'm gonna be there. That's right, because he had a whole bunch of family at the Chicago game. I'm gonna be in your office. We're gonna either figure this out, because I think also Kevin O'Connell has to be a little bit wary of JJ. As much as JJ McCarthy needs you, you need him. You need him to play well, because chances are he's gonna be the quarterback. You need him to play well, so you better mend that fence.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of coaches coaching players that they necessarily aren't their first pick, but you got to make the most of it, and that's what you're paid to do. That's what you made a lot of money doing. That's what they expect you to do. You have a new GM coming in, so really, even if the new GM likes you, you aren't his guy,
right?
Unless Kevin O'Connell is able to pick the GM, which generally doesn't happen. Not like that in college. So,
is he a good enough coach to pick the GM?
Not yet. I think he's a good coach. He's grown on me. I just think what he's thinking about and what's happening right now. This is also funny. So Sam Darnold makes the Super Bowl, but when he was leaving, now granted they could have very easily just franchised him and just did it like that, or got a ton of draft picks. So that's bad business, anyways. But people were so fixated on those last 2 games, but they weren't fixated on the offensive line,
right?
They weren't fixated on defense, right? Now, they weren't also fixated on some of the play calls, because up in Detroit last year, Dan Campbell goes from fourth. It's 4th down territory no matter what. Kevin O'Connell went for it every single time on 4th down. Kind of try to get in a little macho, chess match. Didn't work out. Now it falls on J.J. McCarthy to follow up an MVP type season as Sam Darnold, and it didn't work out.
Maybe we need a break and then we can answer this question. But if I ask you right now to rank the NFC North coaches, best to worst.
We know. Well, let me take a quick break, and I got to come back with that.
Think about it.
Yeah, because that's tough.
It's a really good.
You got
coaching
really
division.
good coaches. I don't even know who's number one.
That's
I
what
need
I'm
a
saying.
little bit of break. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of January, because get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying, let's sit around the table, let's drop some plans, let's put numbers together, let's get a budget put together, and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Norman? Quick segment before we head into the weekend. Mark Manning and crew got a big match tonight. A little revenge. They'll represent to the fullest. Got to get your boy, it was AJ Ferrari. He got to do the splits, right?
I guess so.
That's a big dude, man, doing that. Yeah, it's flexibility at his finest. But wishing them all the luck and obviously the support from our Husker fans as they continue along and battling to be a national powerhouse like they already are. But Austin asked me, if I had to rank the NFC North coaches, I'm gonna go number 1, Dan Campbell.
Okay,
that's my dude.
Makes sense
I like
to me.
It. Yeah, I like it. Probably gonna have to curtail some of his practices so that people don't end up on injury reserve. But I like him though. I like Dan Campbell. Number 2, as of right now, I'll go with Matt LaFleur.
Okay.
Right now. Next year it'll be Ben Johnson, but I really think Ben Johnson is the second one. So essentially Detroit.
Okay.
And then last, I'll do Kevin O'Connell, and it's not even.
Wow.
And that's not even.
It's hating. Just be honest.
It's not. If I had to pick a coach right now between O'Connell and LaFleur, I'm picking O'Connell. I'm only put O'Connell at number 4 is because they didn't make the playoffs this year. I would pick Kevin O'Connell.
So you're Terry Pegula, firing a coach based off of one game, one season.
I wouldn't fire him.
I'm kidding.
I mean, I think that group of coaches, though, is
maybe the best pound for pound in football.
Yeah, pound for pound in the league. I was going to say the AFC West, but the Raiders don't have a coach.
Right.
So I'd say NFC North. All of them are franchise coaches.
Any one of those guys that leave immediately get hired somewhere else.
They could go anywhere. They could go anywhere and be rinse and repeat.
Mm-hmm.
They do a good enough job at the NFL level developing guys, and I think they're all young enough, have the energy enough to inspire guys. I like it.
So NFC North, AFC West, and NFC West, probably the 3 best coaching divisions in football.
Yeah.
Depending on what the Cardinals do.
Yeah, but those top 3 are really, really good. Obviously,
Yeah.
really, really good. I
Yeah.
think whoever takes over the Cardinals are getting a hidden gem. They drafted well. I think Gannon did a good enough job. Obviously, wasn't able to be kept, but I think he's done good enough to it's already set. It's kind of like Seattle. They got a tough little defense. I think they have a nice little following. Now they got to figure out what they're doing at quarterback. Then they'll be off to the races in probably the toughest division in football right now.
Right.
Now, if we're talking about the NFC South, that's child's play down there.
Seriously.
If you just get one coach down there that could just walk and chew gum, you might go on a 4-year run. You might go on that Buffalo Bills run where you win the division 4 years in a row.
Sleepwalk through it.
Yeah. I mean, look at Todd Bowles. I mean, that you're talking about a season lost.
Man. Especially when you start 6-2. Now, it wasn't a pretty or clean 6-2, but 6-2 in the NFL is 6-2.
Yeah, but he had like a 2 or 3 game lead.
Yeah. On Carolina.
Yeah.
And no shade to Charlotte or anything, but like, when's the last time that franchise did anything? 2015.
Yeah.
You just let him have it? You just let him have it.
On a platter.
Man. You let Atlanta. Broken season.
Yeah.
Play spoiler. And I don't know, Tyler Sheck might be the best quarterback in the division.
No, he ain't better than Baker.
I'm kidding.
But he's close. I would tell
surprisingly competent.
I will tell you this. He surprised me when he looked at the combine. He looked horrible.
Yeah.
And when he was at Louisville, he was okay.
Mm-hmm.
But he got in the league and he got confidence. Man. And he's got some weapons down there too.
Oh, yeah.
And you got a team that believes in you.
Mm-hmm.
New Orleans is going to be tough, man. They're going to
So
be tough.
Spencer Rattler to trade too. That might be a chip that's out there for people.
Yeah. He could go to the Cardinals. He's from Arizona.
He is.
Welcome home. Another little pocky Hercules. He redhead kingpin though. So anyways, appreciate you guys listening, all the support. We want to give a shout out to Kevin Meyer Corcombato, Elena from Upside, Ryan Held, head coach at UNK, telling us everything he's doing with his program, building the program, recruiting Nebraska players. Big week for him next week. Appreciate you guys listening. Graham Tire,
Good
as
people.
always.
Heartland, Nebraska Windows.
Heartland, Nebraska Windows.
All sorts of support.
Yeah. And go Huskers this weekend. By 10, basketball team.
Heard it here first.
Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll holler at you next week.